he's driving a luxury car or she's driving a luxury car. Visit Genesis of St. Charles right now in the St. Charles Hyundai showroom. They're part of the St. Charles Automotive Campus. Online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Sail with American Queen Voyages in North America's mighty rivers, Great Lakes, oceans, and expeditions to the wilds of Alaska. Call 844-744-0794 or contact your travel professional.
Hey, it's Trish Gazelle. Remember Old Newsboys Day? It's back this Thursday. I'll be selling papers for the benefit of children's charities at Celebrity Corner, Gravois and Lindbergh. Stop by 7 to 9 a.m. Old Newsboys Day this Thursday, November 17th, South Lindbergh at Gravois. See you there.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Well, there's Donald Trump, the moment that we've all been waiting for or not waiting for, Donald Trump announcing his candidacy for the presidency. Now, I've said for a long time I didn't think he was going to run. And everybody was like, he's going to run, Annie. And I'm like, I know he probably is. But I'm sticking out. I'm saying I don't think he's going to run. And the reason why I thought he wouldn't be running was because I didn't think his family would want him to. Yet, you guys were right. I was wrong. Here he is running. And he made the announcement last night. Pretty much a pretty long speech. Do you know how long it was total? It was like...
I did not. I didn't see the
I
final.
picked it up right after we had a basketball game in Belleville last night. So we were getting in the car after that. And as we are apt to do, stopping by Chick-fil-A on the way home for dinner, turn on the Trump speech and listen to him, and got to hear the point where he announced his candidacy for the presidency. I'm going to be honest, folks. It was a good speech. And I laugh when people are like, it was so tiring. It was so low energy. When he's all fired up, that's like the Trump you hate the most. Unless the Trump that presents his case articulates the reasons why he's running again in a calm, collective way, is really the Trump that they hate the most, because that's the Trump that can win an election. Here's more from his
Under
speech.
our leadership, we were a great and glorious nation, something you haven't heard for quite a long period of time. We were a strong nation, and importantly, we were a free nation. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation.
If you're a Republican voter, do you disagree with that? I don't care who you support. I don't care if you are Liz Cheney or die, or if you're Donald Trump or die. If you're a Republican voter, is what he said there true? What about this?
For millions of Americans, the past 2 years under Joe Biden have been a time of pain, hardship, anxiety, and despair. As we speak, inflation is the highest in over 50 years. Gas prices have reached the highest levels in history and expect them to go much higher now that the strategic national reserves, which I filled up, have been virtually drained in order to keep gasoline prices lower just prior to the election. Joe Biden has intentionally surrendered our energy independence. There is no longer even a thought of dominance, and we are now begging for energy help from foreign nations, many of whom find us detestable. Our southern border has been erased, and our country is being invaded by millions and millions of unknown people, many of whom are entering for a very bad and sinister reason.
So, Brad, when you hear the president listing off all of those points, he's right.
He's correct, yeah.
He's correct.
He is not wrong.
He is not wrong. We have on this show, specifically probably Brad and myself the most, been leery of a Trump candidacy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. And the reason why this far into, we're 6 years out from when he won the presidency.
Yeah.
6 years. We've done this for 6 years now. We've lived in Trump land for 6 years. Did you hear the Kilmeade interview with Mike Pence right before my show started here on 97.1? Because if you didn't, go find Kilmeade's podcast, or the best thing you can do here on the Odyssey app, which streams 97.1 FM Talk all day. Rewind to, I think he started at about, I know he was going before 11:30, so it was probably about 11:20, 11:15.
Yeah, he did 2 segments with him.
And if you listen to what Mike Pence talks about, Mike Pence is out. He's got a book. He's selling a book. So that's how you know why he's spilling his guts, because he wants you to buy his book. And I think I might like to hear his account of the last 6 years, but also even before then, because Mike Pence, you may or may not know, started in radio. He was a radio guy in Indiana. He used to work at WIBC, which is a sister station to 97.1 when it was owned by Emmis. So in the same company, as I understand it. And I just think that he's got an interesting path to achieve what he's achieved. Now, if you think about, I'm gonna take you down a road here, and I want you to walk with me for a second. If you're a super supporter of Donald Trump, if you are a moderate supporter of Donald Trump, if you are a reluctant supporter of Donald Trump, there's a reason why 6 years into this thing, and it's really more like 7 because of how long the campaign lasted, there's a reason why 7 years into this, you possibly have not sworn off Donald Trump. I've talked to some of you folks who have. I can think right now of a handful of people who supported Trump in the past, maybe reluctantly supported him in the past, and said, nope, not doing it again. You guys contact me. I can see your names. But there are a lot of people who, even up until this point, 6-7 years into this whole ordeal, still support Donald Trump to some varying degree. Why is that? It's because he knows how to get stuff done, and he speaks to you in a way that no other politician in Washington, D.C. speaks to people, speaks to voters, speaks to constituents. He sees things, he calls them out. Americans like that. That's what Americans elected in the first place. If you take yourself all the way back to 2016, your reason for voting for Donald Trump might need some refreshing.
Look, the Republican voters and then the American people elected Donald Trump, and I think he was the right man at the right time for America. I joined that ticket in 2016, Brian, without hesitation, because I thought the country was in a lot of trouble, and it was. Can you even imagine if we'd have had 4 years of Hillary Clinton in the White House? The Supreme Court alone would have been lost to the left for generations. And Donald Trump was elected not just because of his agenda, but because of that style. People very much wanted that style to confront an establishment in Washington, D.C. that wasn't listening to the American people anymore.
So that's a really, really good point of reference to think about when we're trying to figure out where we have all been on our personal journeys of supporting Donald Trump to whatever extent you have ever supported Donald Trump. Some of you listening have never supported Donald Trump. Some of you listening despise Donald Trump more than anything else on the face of the planet. I hear you. I see you out there. Many of you don't love that you have to go through so much work to support Donald Trump because he does make it incredibly difficult to defend from time to time some of the things he does and says because you may not agree with him. We'll get back to that. Listening to Mike Pence on Brian Kilmeade's show, again, if you missed it, it's Must Listen Radio. Rewind on the Odyssey app to about 11:15 a.m. Central Time. And listen to Brian Kilmeade's conversation with Vice President Mike Pence. He talks about, I think he said it was, January 21st, 2017. I think it was the New York Times headline is, impeachment starts today. Day one. Impeachment starts today. You know this. You watched it happen for 2 entire different processes. You watched Donald Trump be under attack for Russia collusion and then for a, air quotes, perfect phone call with Vladimir Zelensky, of all people. Boy, that name has sure come back in a big, big way. And you knew the entire time that it was a political witch hunt. Donald Trump is not a perfect man. Donald Trump is not the guy who you point at and you say, children, one day you too could be like this man. I mean, maybe you do. I'm not raising your kids. I'm not telling my kids that. But I have told my kids about what Donald Trump has done for this country. I have told my kids about how good conservatism is for the country when they ask. I do think it's important that we understand that the man who cut through all of the noise in a way that is unique to the man himself, Donald Trump, the man who was able to cut through all of the noise, who was able to defeat the most establishment candidate that could have possibly entered that race in Hillary Clinton. He did fight for you. He did fight for the country. He did amazing things in the name of conservatism in a way that I never, ever, ever expected him to even attempt to do when I voted for him so that Hillary wouldn't get anywhere near the Oval Office. And folks, I voted for Donald Trump in Illinois. It is what it is. It's an electoral college situation, and I still cast my ballot for Donald Trump. I certainly wasn't going to do anything to let Hillary Clinton get an inch closer to the Oval Office because of me. And watching Donald Trump prioritize the American people is actually what it's supposed to all be about. So when Donald Trump, before the midterm elections, comes out and says, I'm going to have a big announcement on November 15th, everybody get ready, we all go, we're 6 years into this. We know that on day one of Donald Trump's presidency, that impeachment started that day. They knew what they needed to do. They just had to find a reason to do it. That drags you into that muck. That drags you into that noise. That drags you into a constant barrage of, I think Brad's a Republican. Do you think he voted for Donald Trump? Do you think he cast his vote for Donald Trump? Brad's a pastor. Do you think he voted for Donald Trump over Joe Biden? He's emphatically nodding yes for the folks at home. What are you going to do if Donald Trump wins the nomination? What are you going to do if we go through a primary and everybody gets in and Donald Trump, just like 2016, picks them off one at a time? What are you going to do as a Republican voter who's disenchanted with the onslaught, the barrage of negativity that comes when Donald Trump's name enters the room? It enters the air around you, and you can smell it because everybody is repulsed. Everybody is repulsed by conversation about Donald Trump. Not about Donald Trump, but even Donald Trump supporters are repulsed at the idea of having to have yet another conversation about Donald Trump because it never ends well for the person who supports Donald Trump. Folks, that's what the Democratic Party has been working to achieve this entire time. I am not somebody who wakes up in the morning thinking about Donald Trump, praising Donald Trump for the glorious things that he has done for me and my country. I am not somebody who worships at the MAGA altar. I am not somebody who sees Donald Trump as somebody who is unfallible. He is an incredibly broken man, as are all leaders of every nation or tribe or kingdom or country. They have all been broken. Every single man and woman who's ever led, broken. Donald Trump is too. The Republican challengers that might enter a primary, like a Ron DeSantis or like a Mike Pompeo or like a Vice President Pence or a Nikki Haley or any of these folks, they are broken too. What you need to be thinking about is an entire industry right now, an industry, a money-making industry that is preying upon your allegiance and your loyalty as a commodity that those folks can trade upon, get rich upon, profit upon, and it doesn't even matter who wins and loses. Those folks get rich in the process. Listen to Kellyanne Conway talking about the midterms. Listen to Kellyanne Conway talk about all of the consultants and all of the brains that come in and try to, push candidates across the line, and they charge enormous amounts of money to try to get their message across, and they're not winning. In a lot of these races, they're not winning. But they still get rich, and the candidate that put it all on the line loses. And then we hear, their candidates just weren't good. Who's getting rich in the process? None of any of this has to do with you. You're the voter. This is all, the whole shebang is supposed to be about you. It's supposed to be about the American individual, the liberty that we're supposed to enjoy, the protections that the government is set up to be constrained by. That Constitution is not to empower the government. It's to protect you from the government. That's the whole point. And in the midst of this, we have created an entire scenario where people are getting enormously wealthy, regardless of outcome, to make sure that you wake up in the morning knowing where your allegiance lies. It's time that whether it's Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis or Mike Pence or Liz Cheney, folks, I got to tell you right now, I'm voting for Donald Trump if he's the nominee. I'm voting for Liz Cheney if she's the nominee. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Missouri, Amendment 3. I mean, that's where I am. You know why? Because Liz Cheney doesn't own me, and the people who hate Liz Cheney don't own me. And the people, Donald Trump, he doesn't own me, and the people who hate Donald Trump don't own me. I am not to be acquired by any of these groups, and you aren't either. And if yesterday was one of the happiest days that you've had in a long time because Donald Trump is running for the presidency, if you made that decision on your own, high five, go get him. I hope he wins. If Donald Trump wins in 2024, our country will be quickly on the path to being a better country. The Democrats stand for what I don't. The Republican Party, the conservative movement, stands for what I do. That's what matters to me. My job is to make sure that whomever is running to represent me, that I get a vote in that primary. I get to cast. I voted for Marco Rubio in the Illinois primary against Donald Trump, and I think he announced like 2 days before the Illinois primary that he was pulling out. I'm like, I don't care. You got my vote, dude. I love you. I'm all over the place. I get it, but it's my vote. People ask me over and over and over again, Annie, why don't you put out a voter guide for Illinois? Folks, I'm voting Republican, and I'm going to tell you, you should vote Republican too. Straight ticket. I don't see any Democrats out there right now that are advocating for the things that I advocate for, and the Republicans are. We all have to do our own research. We all have to do our own due diligence that makes sure that the people who are running to represent us understand what it is that we in the party stand for. Because I'm not going to wait around to see what Donald Trump's important platform parts are going to be so that I can figure out what mine are. I know what matters to me. And once that primary happens, whenever other people start getting in, which will happen a lot after Christmas, I think people are going to let Donald Trump do his thing, see how he handles himself. If Donald Trump would run a campaign the way he gave that speech last night, he will win. I question that he can. It was one speech on one night at Mar-a-Lago filled with a room full of people that are his people. That's not the way Donald Trump fights. He started it the week before. I don't know what he's going to do going forward. But if you feel pressured today on November 16th of 2022 to determine where your allegiance is in this primary when other people, stop. Don't feel that pressure. I release you of that burden as if I have the authority to do that. You don't have to feel that burden. Go Christmas shopping. Go visit somebody. Go buy some canned goods and take it to St. Patrick's Center. We're going to talk to them at 1:25 today. Go figure out a way that instead of wringing your hands over what's going to happen in over 2 years from now, go help a real person in a real way that nobody's going to know about today and make some sort of difference. We got to stop as conservatives. We got to stop waiting for government to look the way we want it in order to hope to see good in the world. Forget about that. Screw that. Find somebody to help today and be a part of a solution that doesn't require a single government official. And get to know people. And when people get to know you, if you get to the point where you get to talk about your values, maybe with people who normally wouldn't be a part of that conversation to you, maybe that leads to something. Maybe it doesn't. I don't even know. But I see it in myself first and in the people around me that we get so anxious. We get so, I'm not going to use that word. We get so hurt over the idea that our folks don't win forlorn in the state of Illinois because we're a dumpster fire of Democrat control. That we just whine about it. We don't do anything about it. Go do something about it. We're going to figure out ways on this show to help connect you to places that might touch your heart and get you to make a difference in a small way. This does not have to be huge donations. You don't have to be donating $100 to things to make a difference. Maybe it's a pack of socks for somebody whose feet are going to be freezing cold this week here in St. Louis. It's that simple. You don't owe these politicians anything. They owe you everything because they are seeking public service to represent you. Don't let them pressure you into thinking that that relationship is inverted. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to take some phone calls. You guys ready for this? I'd love to hear what you think about the president's speech last night. And as I have done here recently a few times, I want to get as many of you on the show as rapidly as I can. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you like top 60 seconds to make your point. 314-241-9797. Call the Annie Frey Show here on 97.1 FM Talk at 314-241-9797. You heard the president's speech last night. Where are you? How do you feel about it? Are you pumped? Are you excited? Are you upset? Are you angry? Do you not care at all? Did you even listen to the speech? Call us and we will get as many folks on the show as we can when we return. 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Take a bow for the new revolution. Smile and grin at the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play just like yesterday. Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. All right, you feel good tonight?
They're back, cocked and loaded. The Family Arena presents 38 Special with special guests Molly Hatchet and Black Oak, Arkansas. Saturday, November 19th, the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.com. Presented by the Family Arena.
Yes, Epics and Classics featuring John Anderson with the Band Geeks. May 9th, the Family Arena, Progressive Pioneers. Yes, Geeks, Epics and Classics, featuring John Anderson. With the Band Geeks live. Research seat tickets on sale now at the Carroll House box office at the Family Arena or through Ticketmaster. Don't miss Yes, Epics and Classics, featuring John Anderson with the Band Geeks.
So I want to talk to you about Stewart's American Mortgage and his new 2-1 buy down. This is an amazing opportunity right now because here's the deal. As rates have gone up a little bit, he's created the 2-1 buy down, which allows you as a seller or as a realtor to partner with Stewart's American Mortgage and maybe lower that price a little bit, but also give buyers the opportunity who are looking for their dream home and they found it and they want to move in and the rates are a little bit too high. They need that price shifted. Reach out to Stewie. He has a way to help buyers get a 2% lower than the prevailing rate for a few years to secure the payment that they're looking for. And listen, if rates are going to go down, as many economists suspect in the 6 to 18 months that are coming ahead of us because the economy is going to slow, what he's going to do is be able to have the bagel loan if you are looking to refinance and secure that lower rate in a few years. If rates do dip like they expect them to be, maybe hopefully before pre-pandemic levels, then you go to Stewie, you get the bagel loan, and you refinance again, and you don't pay any fees. No title fees, no closing costs when you use the bagel loan. Stewart's American Mortgage is at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And the other thing, folks, rates have just come down. People are surprised. The inflation report was lower than people expected, so rates have dipped down now. If you got a mortgage in the last 90 days, and you got one of those super high rates, I don't know, 6s and maybe 7s, right now you can refinance with the bagel loan, and you're not going to pay any fees that other lenders out there are going to charge you for. He doesn't roll them into the mortgage. Those fees don't exist. He doesn't charge you for them. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
4 distinct seasons, sometimes within a single day. Dave Murray's got you covered with Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather. Every day on 97.1 FM Talk.
Get ready to go crazy right here. Here we go.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Try to build a fire, I'll burn the woods. I ain't a mover or shaker, can't keep up with the pacer. Never met a dance floor that ever did me any good.
Take it over. I'm
Congress, Nancy Pelosi, has been fired. Isn't that nice? I told them, I said, if you just keep a little bit lower standard, you're going to have a big victory. They said, let's win by 40 seats. Let's win by 50. I said, if you win by 2 seats, be happy. But she's on her way to another country right now. She's been fired.
Did he really say, you don't want to win by 40 seats? 2 is good. Did he say that?
I don't think that's how he was
I don't
saying
really know that there's evidence of that. I'm just saying. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad that you're here. President Trump, former President Trump is running again for president in 2024. Everybody knew that was going to happen, except for me. I'm the one who predicted that he wouldn't run. And here's the deal. I feel only slightly vindicated by this. I was wrong in saying that he wasn't going to run, and I fully admit that. However, there are members of his family, specifically Ivanka. Did you see what Ivanka Trump's message was?
No, I didn't.
She came out and said, I love my father. I support my father in everything he does. I am no longer in politics.
I understand that as well.
And she pulled herself out. Jared Kushner, her husband, was there last night. Don Jr. was on a hunting trip that he couldn't get back to. That's so weird. Like, he should have made something up more important than that. But I think he was in like Colorado and he couldn't, due to weather, get back in time for the announcement. Like, how does that happen? I don't know. But Ivanka had said, I'm not doing this anymore. And that's really what my premise of why I didn't think he would run was, because I thought his family would say, we don't want to do this anymore. We want to live our own lives, and we are losing our own lives in the midst of your run for the presidency. And so what happened is, at least Ivanka at this point in time has said, I support my father. I love my father. I'm out. And so that's kind of, I guess probably didn't have the weight to tell him, no, don't run again. Melania was there, apparently, and I only listened to it. But Melania was there and supporting him. So there you have it. He has the support of his family in order to make this happen. I said I would take phone calls, and I want to do this here right now. I think we're going to take phone calls into the next segment as well. So keep calling if you can't get through right now. 314-241-9797. This is how this is going to work. I'm going to take your call. I'm going to put you on. You get like 45 to 60 seconds to make your point, and we're going to breeze through as many people as we possibly can. Did you listen to the speech? Do you care about the speech? Do you love Donald Trump? Was this the most amazing announcement? Do you feel like you have hope right now? Is this the worst thing to ever happen? I just want to know what you folks in the Annie Frey Show audience have to say. So let's get to it. Let's start here with Gene. Gene, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Thank you. The only point I had to make was still a Trump supporter. Will continue to do so. I think he's got all the chips stacked against him, but I still support him. My only thing that you said that I don't agree with is, regardless of the nominee, vote for them. In my lifetime, I've gotten really tired of the establishment throwing forward nominees for me to vote for, and I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm not voting for someone I don't like, i.e. McCain, Romney. It's my whole lifetime. It's the establishment choosing who I vote for.
Sure. Gene, I'll say, I want to just add a caveat to that. I'm not telling anybody else who they should vote for. I'm telling you that I would vote. When I look at my children and their future in this country, I will do what I need to do to stop Democrats from gaining power. But that's why, what you're saying, Gene, is so important to be invested in these primaries and to support the people who can win in the primaries that do reflect our values. And hopefully the American people will stand up and say, we're done with, like you said, the McCain-Romney crew.
Absolutely. And thank you for everything that you do, and I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate the phone call as well. Let's get to Jason. Jason, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, thank you for accepting me.
Of course.
I would like to say I'm ecstatic by Donald Trump announcing, as a proud Missouri Democrat, I think it's the best news Democrats could get.
And why is that, Jason?
He immediately starts off in the minus 44% of the country. And with independence and the way he talks, I think he's digging his own grave.
Jason, I agree that there is a contingent of people, and there's no other candidate that the Republicans could nominate that would start out with such a high percentage of people that would never, ever, ever, ever vote for him. Let me ask you this, Jason. Let's take Trump out of the question. Do you think that President Biden right now, you said you're a proud Missouri Democrat, and I'm so grateful that you're listening to the show, truthfully and honestly and sincerely. Do you think that Joe Biden is doing a good job? Are you happy with what he's done so far?
I think he's done well at maintaining through crisis.
So would you vote for him again?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. See, I think that a lot of the crisis that we're in is Joe Biden's fault, and you and I would certainly disagree with that. But it's a matter of perspective. But your point, Jason, is very well made. That the negative that he would walk into that nomination with is significantly high, Jason. I think I'm glad you're listening, and I appreciate your phone call.
I appreciate you.
Bye. Thank you, Jason. Tommy, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think?
Thanks, Annie. So I'm going to mostly agree with Gene, I think. I'm going to continue to support Donald Trump. I think, I honestly, with regard to the red wave, and I know this has been hashed over a million times on every show, but I from the very beginning, when people started talking about, a red wave is coming, I was very cautious and even highly doubtful. I'm like, I don't think so, because the same goobers that are electing these people, that elected Biden, no offense, Jason, are the same ones voting this time. And they're turning out in droves, and we're just not, we're electing, we're putting bad candidates up, or however you want to say it. Mm-hmm. I'm cautiously optimistic, of course, and I'm going to continue to support Donald Trump. But
is he your number one? I mean, you don't even have to tell me, Tommy, who your number one is. But is Donald Trump somebody who you would support if he was the nominee, but maybe would be thinking elsewhere in the primary?
Yeah, I would support Donald Trump no matter what, because of what he does for the country. Now, I mean, I said this when the first time he got elected, I'm like, if he would just shut the blank up, he would be so much better. Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't have no one that picks apart his personality and his arrogance and all that would have much of a leg to stand on in that regard. He just shut up, and you're doing such a good job. Just be quiet, and you got it. Now, yeah, of course, you need a little bit of that bravado and whatever you want to call it, in order to inspire that confidence and let people know that you're leading, and you have your wits about you and you know what you're doing. But gosh, just quiet down a little bit and you got it.
Tommy, I think you make great points. Thank you for calling the show. I appreciate you reaching out to us. Bye-bye. Let's take a quick break. I got Josh, Jim, Elaine, and Dave on the phone. I've got one line open right now, and Wiggins is out once again. He's still not feeling great, so keep our eye in your prayers. We'll get him back in here shortly. And Hannah is out today. She's not feeling great. In all honesty, I don't feel great. Brad's super tired, so we're pushing through, and we're here with you today because you are important to us. So keep us all in your prayers. And if you want to give us a call, we got Drew out there taking the phone calls. Like I said, we have one line open, 314-241-9797. We're going to take Wiggins America over here in the next segment and keep you front and center. More phone calls in just a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Mark Cox here with a real estate update and insight from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria says, look, sitting on the sidelines may not be the best strategy moving forward in a continually shifting market. Homes aren't selling as fast, and in most cases, price reductions are becoming pretty common. Gloria also says that earlier this year, with low inventory, sellers didn't need a strategy to sell because homes were listed and sold immediately. Now more than ever, though, it is crucial to have a proven strategy to get your home sold. That's why I strongly suggest you call Gloria Liu before you list your home to get the absolute most money. Get this, Gloria is so confident she'll sell your home, she will guarantee in writing up front to sell it at your agreed to price and time frame, or she will buy it. Call her at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com.
I want to talk to you about air comfort service. And in a time like this, you want to make sure your furnace is in fantastic working order. Reach out to Air Comfort Service to get your maintenance done on that furnace that will make sure that it's running at top speed, that make sure that it's heating the way it's supposed to be, to make sure you aren't running it and running it and running it. And for some reason, your house isn't getting warm the way it's supposed to be. We heard Brad talk about how his energy bills are going to be going up in February. I don't know if yours have. It makes me kind of freak out about the potential of mine going up. Well, I'm glad that I have a brand new furnace from Air Comfort Service just a couple years ago, because I know that it's going to be running efficiently. I want you to reach out to Air Comfort Service, or at least just put this number in your phone for when the time comes that you need to service or replace your HVAC system. This goes for commercial businesses as well. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. They can assess your system. They'll give you the entire options, the slate of options that you have for repair or replacement. And then if you do go to replace, they have rebates and financing options that are fantastic. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Doug. Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain-relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Business is difficult right now, putting a lot of good workers at risk. If you're a business that needs flexibility with your workforce and don't want to lose your best employees, go to sharedwork.mo.gov and see what the Missouri Department of Labor can do for you.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA-MCO.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Filtering the BS pushed by the mainstream media.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Is this the first Christmas song we played on the show? Did you guys play any when I was out?
I don't think so.
This is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy. I didn't even request this.
I was so ready to put some Brett Eldridge Christmas music in here too, but I was like, no, I'll let Annie.
Let's talk about Christmas later in the show. I'm going to put a pin in that, and we're going to get to that later in the show, because right now I want to get to more of your phone calls. And here's the deal. I don't always open the phones, but I have no Ryan Wiggins today. I have no Hannah Gibbs today. I don't feel great, and we've got great guests coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, and Joe Concha and Amanda Laumeyer, who is the Senior Director of Philanthropy at the St. Patrick's Center. We're going to talk about how we can do something positive here in the 1 o'clock hour. So Brad and I are kind of like wondering what you think about things. In the 2 o'clock hour, I think I'm going to open the phones again, but for something incredibly different. So you're going to want to stick around for that. 314-241-9797. I don't have any lines open now, so let's get through these phone calls as much as we can. If you want to weigh in, let's get on here and keep trying until you get through. Let's start here with Elaine. Elaine, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. Donald Trump announces his presidency. What do you think? candidacy for presidency.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is the first time I have ever called a radio show. You have been spot on by saying it's not about us. Donald Trump it's all about us. I misspoke myself. It's not about Donald Trump, whether we like his personality, don't like it. I'm a retired psychiatric nurse. I was so scared about the red wave because all we were doing was helping the Democrats. Don't we know reverse psychology? You don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah.
You have been spot on this, Annie, completely. I'm 81 years old, and I'm pumped. I've been depressed for the whole week. The whole week I've been down. I didn't know what's wrong with me. Am I dying? 81 is a perfect age to die. I'm right in that spot.
Elaine!
But I am so pumped up, I can't even believe it. It's
Elaine,
wonderful.
Sit down. Calm down. I want you to be healthy and be well. You are well, and you are going 81, man. You're doing just fine, and you have more energy than I do at 38. And I'm so glad you're listening.
I act like I'm 19 years old, and I want to know through this whole last 4 years of Trump, where were our religious, educated people and psychiatrists who didn't come out to help him?
Yeah.
He needed help. He's doing it perfect now, and if he continues talking like this, he'll get his daughter and Eric Kushner back on their team too, and he doesn't need to bring him in the White House.
All right, Elaine, I'm going to let you go, but I want you to check in with us periodically so we know that you continue to do well. Thank you for calling the show.
And I screwed up. I have 4 daughters. I have 2 conservative, and 7 grandsons now, conservative. But I screwed up with 2 of my daughters.
No, you didn't. There's still hope.
The 2 of them, we've got to get them on board. 2 of them aren't on board. One's a teacher. They aren't thinking clear, are they? And another one married a European.
Elaine, Brian Wiggins isn't here today. You should just come to the studio and do the rest of the show with me.
I would love to.
You love your liberal. You love your liberal daughters. Love them hard. Make sure they know.
I'm loving them to death.
Yep.
That's what they're getting for Christmas presents.
What?
Always remember to kneel for the cross and stand for the flag. That's what all my grandsons are giving, including the 2 liberal daughters, 2 sons.
Elaine, I gotta go. But thank you so much for the phone call. I appreciate you in ways that you have no idea. Donald Trump brightened Elaine's day, and Elaine brightened my day.
Same.
I hope she brightened yours. And I'm glad that she's healthy and well. My goodness. Dave, sorry that you have to go after Elaine, but welcome to the Annie Frey Show.
Yeah,
glad you're here.
Hi, Annie.
Hello. Go
Tough
ahead.
act to follow. Tough act to follow. No, I watched the speech. I thought he was right on target, very presidential, covered all the points. Wonderful speech.
You think you're going to support him?
No, I voted for Donald Trump twice. Proudly, and I thought it was absolutely the right vote. I think the third time is not a charm. I think that Donald Trump has worn out his welcome as a presidential candidate, in my opinion, for me anyway, but so is Joe Biden for sure.
Yeah.
So as a good, strong conservative of many years, I would support some other candidate. We need new blood, somebody who can win in 24, and I can think of probably 4, 5, 6 people right off the bat who I think would be, if they declare and decide to run, would be great presidential candidates.
Dave,
all better than anybody that the Democrats have.
Amen to that. Dave, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that sentiment. I think a lot of people relate to that. Josh, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Go ahead.
Hey, Annie. Hey, first of all, I turn 48 tomorrow, and I would need about 4 Monster Energy drinks to act like Elaine.
Same.
So,
I'll see your 4 and raise it probably another 4. Like that doesn't exist in my life right now. That's hilarious.
Exactly. So hey, I voted for Trump, both times, and if it comes down to it, I would definitely do it again. I think Trump would have lost if he would have lost the election and walked away with some humility. I think that we be in a much different situation right now. I'm not really concerned at all about voter turnout for the Trump supporters. My concern is I just know what the Democrats will do. They can't challenge Trump on his record. They can't talk really about their own success record. I feel their message is going to be all about January 6th, and the blind sheep out in the planet there are going to listen to them. And I think if we get Trump as our front runner there, I think we would lose in the general election because of the masses listening to January 6th and a lot of the BS that goes with it.
No, Josh, I think that's a really good point, because what you're talking about, the Democrat message of being January 6th, that's all they've been talking about this entire time. They've never talked about anything Donald Trump did in his presidency. It's always been about that. And the country does not agree on the assessment of January 6th. Michael, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Hi, Annie. I'm a listener, and I love your show.
Thank you.
I did not get a chance to listen to Donald Trump's speech, but I knew already ahead of time that he was going to run, and I voted for him twice. I would hesitate to vote him on the third time. I just think Democrats are going to throw too much stuff towards him, and I am just praying that Ron DeSantis runs.
Yeah. But would you support him if he was the nominee?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes. I'm a diehard Trump fan. People just don't like aggressive, assertive people like Donald Trump, but you got to look past that, and you got to look at what he did for the country. And anybody who would think that Joe Biden is doing a good job, they're out of their mind.
Michael, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it, and I think a lot of people feel the way you do. Mark, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Good to have you here.
Hey, Annie, how's it going? It's kind of hard to follow up with Elaine. She just mic dropped everything.
She's great.
I mean, seriously. But anyways, I don't understand why people would get behind Trump. I mean, he's been an embarrassment since he lost in 2020, in my opinion. I mean, he just acts like a man-child, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of trying to defend him. It's time for everybody to move on from him. Mm. His policies were great. You could still get behind his policies, but you can't act like that. It's totally unprofessional. And for him to be a businessman acting like that, it's beneath me to vote for somebody like that.
Are you voting for? But you're a Republican?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I just want to make sure, because some people will call in and be like, "I'll never support Donald Trump," and they're like huge Bernie Sanders fans, and I'm like, I get it, I understand, but you're not.
Yeah,
that's not you.
I would never vote for Donald Trump, but I mean, I would vote for somebody better, and I would have to vote with my conscience and leave that part blank if he's the nominee. I just can't. I would vote down ballot or split the ticket and focus more on local elections versus the federal. But my question for you is, when are you going to run against Katie Stewart?
I can't. They drew me out of her district. They literally drew the line of the district in front of my house. The house across from my street is in Katie Stewart's district, and they took me out of it.
Just pitch it down on the other side and claim it as your address.
I might have to do that. Mark, thank you for calling the show. I appreciate it. We love talking to you. Man, thank you for everybody who called. I've got a couple of phone calls here I'm not going to be able to get to, but I want to let you know, in the 2 o'clock hour at 2:05, I put this up on the Annie Frey Show Facebook this weekend, and my heart was warmed by your responses. The question was, what makes you happy? And I just really loved reading. It was good for my soul to read the things that y'all were commenting on that Facebook post. So at 2 o'clock, I'm going to open the phones again, and we're going to just completely step away from Trump, DeSantis, Mike Pence, Pompeo, blah, 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 blah. Forget about that. We're going to move into something that is incredibly more important. What makes you happy at 2 o'clock? And you can call back and we'll take some more of your thoughts then. When we return, Joe Concha on the Annie Frey Show and Amanda Laumeyer, Senior Director of Philanthropy at the St. Patrick's Center, about how we can help in our own community. Don't go away.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Pentagon points a finger. Lisa Brady, Fox News. A briefing held a short time ago about the missile that landed in Poland yesterday, killing 2 people near the Ukrainian border.
The world knows that Russia bears ultimate responsibility for this incident.
Though Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also says the U.S. has seen nothing to contradict Poland's preliminary assessment that it was most likely a Ukrainian air defense missile that landed in Poland while Ukraine was fending off another barrage of missiles from Russia. For now, the incident remains under investigation. The Pentagon says U.S. experts are among those assisting. No change at the top for Senate Republicans, re-electing Mitch McConnell as Senate Minority Leader this afternoon. He was challenged by Florida Senator Rick Scott, who led the Senate Republicans' campaign arm this year and who's been criticized over midterm election failures. More than 20 Sheriff's Department recruits are injured after being hit by a car early today in California.
LA County Fire Department officials say 23 people were injured in all, including the driver of the car that hit the recruit class. They were out for a run when they were hit in Whittier, which is east of the city of LA. LA County Fire Captain Sheila Kelleher says 5 were hurt critically and 4 received moderate injuries.
We know for sure we have a 22-year-old male driver that was going the wrong way and ran into the recruit class.
The Highway Patrol's investigating.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. It's not known yet if the crash was intentional. A convicted killer is executed in Arizona. 76-year-old Murray Hooper put to death by lethal injection just a few hours after the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a last-minute appeal. Hooper was convicted of murdering a man and his mother-in-law in 1980. The man's wife was shot in the head during the attack but survived and testified against Hooper. America is listening to Fox News.
Miss, missed you this morning. Kim told me you weren't feeling well, so I'm just doing a self-care check.
Oh, thank you, friend.
How you doing?
Girl, listen, my energy was so low because I didn't eat breakfast when I got up, so I had to miss virtual yoga with y'all.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm doing much better now that I've eaten, so I'm back on track.
Great. In that case, let's get some steps in tonight. I'll come over and we can walk around the lake.
Sounds good. Appreciate you being in my business, too. Now, let me get in yours. Did you check your blood pressure today?
I did that and my squats, okay?
Okay.
High blood pressure is not going to be my friend if I can help it. See you at 6?
Let's get it. See you then.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Check in on one another and be a part of a healthy blood pressure movement. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperatures holding in the 30s this afternoon with a changeable sky, and once again, little pockets of snow flurries or snow burst. Tonight, bundle up continues. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Windy and cold. 22 Thursday. Partly sunny. Really cold out the door Thursday, but 42 for the high. Friday, lots of sunshine, but we'll be lucky to hit 30. Temperatures in the 30s over the weekend. Warmer next week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, the Retirement Advisory Group. When you partner with them to protect your retirement, you get to go, glad that's done. That's an amazing place to be. A lot of folks right now worried about what their future holds. If you're looking at a 2-year outlook, 5, 10-year outlook, retirement is around the corner. Maybe you wanted to retire at 62 and you're worried, oh my gosh, I hope I can retire before 65. Don't put off a phone call to the Retirement Advisory Group any longer. It's what you do. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Ring the phone. Say, Annie Frey told me to talk to you about my retirement, and they will set you up with a free retirement review. No cost to you, zero obligation at the end of the conversation. Sit down and listen to what they have to say, and then make a decision based on what you think that they can do for you. Now, they've been helping a huge number of Annie Frey Show listeners, of 97.1 listeners, for years and years. I think you'll be happy to be one of them. 314-993-9494. Get that exhale about your retirement. Online at retirementkey.com.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
I am running because I believe the world has not yet seen the true glory of what this nation can be. It's about our love for this great country.
97.1 FM Talk.
This holiday, give the people you treasure something they'll treasure, a gift from Shane Company. Our unique jewelry makes a spectacular gift. I'm Tom Shane. One of my favorites is an elegant necklace featuring a colorful east-west gemstone with diamond accents for $250. We offer it in 4 different gemstones, so you can select a color she loves. Choose red garnet, purple amethyst, sky blue topaz, or yellow citrine. Another favorite are diamond huggy earrings for $1,145. I picked these hoops because they fit close to the ear and are great for any occasion. Select either white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold. Our link necklace at $525 is a favorite because the diamond accents give the gold a touch of sparkle. Visit us for more gifts at a great value. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here. It's one in, one out.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. We'd love to help you out, so please visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Hi, George Weber. Check out my alter ego, Skip Weber, every Saturday night, 9 to 11. The Saturday Evening Rock Show, the greatest rock and roll show on a talk station in the world. Don't miss it.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Every one of our candidates knew what they were for, expressed it quite clearly. It's pretty obvious, and all of you have been writing about it, what happened. We underperformed among independents and moderates because their impression of many of the people in our party in leadership roles is that they're involved in chaos, negativity, excessive attacks, and it frightened independent and moderate Republican voters.
Mitch McConnell there saying that the people in their party, he talks about leadership and says that independent voters believe that they're involved in chaos and negativity. Yeah. I mean, it's really difficult, Brad, to look in the political scene and be like, where's the calm and collected? Who's out here talking about ideas? It doesn't seem like that really is the priority. Now, Kevin McCarthy made this announcement.
I'm proud to announce the era of one-party Democrat rule in Washington is over. Washington now has a check and balance. The American people have a say in their government. And this new Republican leadership team is ready to get to work to put America back on the right track.
All right, so we have to bring our friend in, Joe Concha. Couldn't wait to talk to you, Joe, about the midterms, what it was, what it wasn't, and where we stand right now with the Republican majority in the House, a lost seat in the Senate, and a Republican Party with an identity crisis, but yet still a presidential candidate on the Republican side. Joe, welcome back to the show. Great to have you here.
Sure, of course. So let's break it down, right? Before the midterms, Democrats controlled the House. Nancy Pelosi was your House Speaker. You had a Senate that was 50-50. Kamala Harris still had the tie-breaking vote, but you still had a Senator Manchin and Sinema that stopped most of President Biden's big spending bills and agenda, and then you had an unpopular president in the White House. After the election, Republicans control the House. Nancy Pelosi has been fired. Kevin McCarthy will be your House Speaker. There'll be investigations and everything from the border crisis not being secure and closed, possible impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas, more importantly, investigations into Hunter Biden's laptop, which has been verified. The contents are verified. The question is a sitting president of the United States compromised by countries like China, which may explain why he was so soft on President Xi Jinping when he met with him at the G20. And then, of course, you still have an unpopular president in the Oval Office, and you have a Senate that's now probably going to be 51-49, maybe 50-50 if Herschel Walker can pull off what I deem as a miracle, because if he couldn't win with Kemp on the ticket, he's not going to win without him on the ticket. So all of that said, we're basically where we were before, except Republicans now control the purse strings, and we're going to have gridlock government, which I think is a very good thing when you have the type of agenda that Democrats want to move forward with. So overall, some good news, but the fact that the takeaway I have, Annie, I go through it over and over again, how anyone can lose to John Fetterman, okay?
Yeah.
Take the stroke aside, just even if he didn't have a stroke, with his positions on crime alone, where you have a murder rate in Philadelphia that broke a record in 2021. Oh, that's right. The record was broken in 2022. It only took a year later, and we're not even in mid-November before we had even more murders in that city. When you have fracking being a very important issue there, and clearly Fetterman flip-flop for votes, and the fact, obviously, that inflation and gas prices is just a bigger problem in Pennsylvania than they are anywhere else, and still somehow people elected this guy. It shows you that the Dr. Oz endorsement by Trump, he could tout his record all he wants, like 124 and 22, whatever it was. That was a big mistake. Masters was a big mistake. You're losing Senate races now in what are supposed to be red states to bad candidates in conditions you will never have again, like in Arizona, as far as the border being completely overrun, and Blake Masters still couldn't pull it off. That's the thing right now. What does the Republican Party do moving forward? Because Trump's endorsements are great in primaries, not so great in general elections in the states that matter.
So I have I have 8,000 questions for you. I'm going to have to pare them down to one at a time here. Speaking with Joe Concha, he's a political columnist at The Hill, Fox News contributor, and author of the book, Come On, Man, The Truth About Joe Biden's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Presidency, that we are only at the midway point of. My goodness. The red wave didn't happen. The Democrats, that red wave was I kind of wonder if it was only ever just the media narrative, pick and choose the polls that you want to pick and choose, create a story, and potentially use it to motivate the people who are on the other side of the red wave. But it didn't occur. We didn't have a red wave. The Democrats are taking it as an enormous victory. But as you pointed out, the Republicans took the House. So the Republicans actually gained power in Washington, D.C. And we are as razor thin divided, almost perfectly 50-50 in our government right now. And what has changed since 2020 going into 2022, and what has to change from 2022 going into 2024 for either of these parties to effectively make the case to receive a mandate from the American people about what they actually want to happen when these people govern?
I'm not sure much, Annie. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get to a place again where we have landslides in one direction or the other. I think a lot of people voted for a Fetterman, or they voted for a Blake Masters, or, you have Mike DeWine winning in Ohio by 15 points and J.D. Vance somehow loses 8 points off of that, right? I think the vote seems to be more voting against the other party than the belief that your party is going to do a better job. It's owning the libs or owning the conservatives. As far as the red wave is concerned, I was one of those people that was on Fox that was saying there'd be a red wave, because I didn't say it because out of hope casting or from a place where, you know what, this is something that has to happen. Democrats suck, and Republicans are going to take over, and they're doing such a wonderful job. I just looked at history. I looked at Bill Clinton losing 54 seats in 1994, and the economy was in pretty good shape, and we didn't have crime rampant out of control like it is now, and we didn't have the border that was wide open. You go back and read Bill Clinton's comments on the border and deportations. He sounded downright Trumpian, even more extreme, if you want to use that word, as far as enforcing that. And Bill Clinton was more popular than Biden, so I figured, okay, that's 54 seats with one Democratic president. Then I look at Barack Obama. He lost 63 seats in 2010. And again, we didn't have inflation where it is now. We didn't have this border crisis or education. It was far far better then than it is now. Like all these issues, everything lined up perfectly for Republicans. So when you're looking at history, you say, well, if that guy lost 54 and that guy lost 63, and a lot of people think that this president shouldn't run for a second term, well, I could have used an expletive there, but oh shoot, you would think that would have the same kind of result. Not those numbers, but 20 would have been away, for example, seats in the House. And 1 or 2 seats in the Senate would have been just fine because then you would have controlled that chamber. And the fact that Republicans fell short, I don't know if they'll have anything ever set up better for them ever again. And that should scare them a little bit. And you have to wonder what's wrong with the brand. And I think that, and I'm rambling here, but I think there's 2 kinds of Republicans. There's the Trump Republican, and then there's the establishment. And the Trump Republican hates the establishment, and the establishment blames Trump and the MAGA movement for being too far to the right or too extreme or for January 6th, and each side is blaming the other. Let's put it this way. There's a civil war going on inside the Republican Party right now, and it's not very clear who's going to win, except Ron DeSantis was the one bright spot on Tuesday night with the only landslide that we saw, and he won in places that Democrats usually win in big. So maybe that's the formula. And I hear from Trump supporters, Annie, that say, oh, you support DeSantis. You're a rhino. You're for the establishment. You're for the swamp. I go, since when is Ron DeSantis establishment and swamp? He's Trump, but he's a younger Trump, and he has discipline. So that's a bad thing? I don't know.
I'm 100% with you. We're speaking with Joe Concha right now. As you were saying, talking about the Republican Party, the identity crisis that they have right now, I had just wrote down one word, Trump. You were either in the Republican Party Trump or not. And if some people might say the non-Trumpers or the establishment, but I think that we're very rapidly post non-red wave midterm election establishing a third group, which is people who do love what Trump did for this country. They don't hate Donald Trump, but he's exhausting to support. And it's difficult to have any conversation. This whole midterm, somehow or another, without Trump on the ticket or in the White House, still managed to be, because the Democrats are successful in doing so, about Trump. In a post-Trump world, which I don't know when that happens, I think that there still is an America First MAGA movement that continues, that he started and he coalesced with a lot of people who love Donald Trump, who would want to see their next nominee, whether it's for the president or, Congress, whatever it might be, espouse those same values. And I really feel like that's where the Republican Party is going to have to land, because I don't find myself to be somebody who is like at the epicenter of the MAGA Trump world, but I love what he did for this country. I hate what the media and the narrative did to him. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. But I wouldn't say that it's Trump or die for me, but that doesn't make me establishment. And I think a lot of people feel homeless within the Republican Party right now because they love him. They love what he did, but it's tiring. It's exhausting.
Trust me, if you said on Twitter what you just said to me now, you would be considered, you would be called a rhino, and you've been a phony all along that's actually a traitor. With the core Trump supporter, there is extreme distrust of everybody. Mm-hmm. So if you do what I did last week, which was to say that what Trump did in attacking DeSantis and Youngkin, unprovoked, out of nowhere, 3 weeks before a Georgia election, calling DeSantis an average Republican governor. I mean, there's a guy only won by 20 points and he has 64% approval, which no one gets an approval in the 60s anymore. But okay, I called that ill-advised and stupid. And now you'd be surprised how many people are like, I'm never going to watch Fox again. I knew you guys were against us all along. Paul Ryan's telling you what to say. Yeah, he calls me 6 a.m. every day and says, all right, Joe, I'm going to program you right now. Okay, sir, go right ahead. No, that does not happen. All right. I think on myself, by myself, just like you do, for myself, and it's okay to criticize Trump when he does dumb things. It's fine. You could praise him, too, last night, like I did after he gave that speech last night, where I said that sounded more like his State of the Union addresses, which were always his best moments, than a rally speech, right? Yep. So if we could get that Trump, then maybe things are okay. But in the end, I think Trump has to be, and I'm not saying I want this, I'm saying that the only way that anybody will accept from the Trump side another candidate is if Trump is defeated in a primary. And I think that DeSantis, if it goes one-on-one with Trump, and I've been saying this for a year, DeSantis wins, and he wins quite easily, because I think that fatigue is something a lot of people don't talk about that much, but they want to go to a new chapter. Because remember, Donald Trump announced 8 years ago, right, that he was running for president. I mean, that's a long time for any politician to be at a spotlight of such a high level. And given now all these losses that have happened under Trump, Republicans lost the House, they lost the Senate, and they may lose it twice even without him, without office, not in office. Actually, they will lose it twice. So people are like, okay, I want to win again. Who gets us to win again? That's not a criticism of Trump. It's like, what quarterback can we start that gives us the best chance to win? That's all. I got to go back to sports.
And yeah, I understand. Joe, you know, and the other thing, too, is that with everything that you said, and I agree with everything you just said, that at the same time, if Donald Trump somehow or another manages to win that primary, I'm voting for him over Joe Biden. I live in Illinois as many times as they let me. I mean, like, why would you not vote for the Republican Donald Trump? Like, they try to make it so binary that you're either all Trump or you are part of the entire establishment working against him. Like you said, you think for yourself. You come up with these thoughts by yourself. You present them because the people who put you in a position to speak trust you to come up with unique thoughts and espouse them for people to consume and then react however they want to. That's the way everybody is. And the people who are invested in pushing us into which camp are you in, one or the other, they're almost all making money off of it.
Right. You want to be in the winning camp, maybe? I don't know. What's best for the country camp? Here's the question, though. Let's say Trump does get the nomination. Here's a question everybody has to ask. Can he win suburban women voters who play a huge role in those swing states like we talk about, right? And those are the type of voters that Youngkin and DeSantis won, right? So they overcame the Republican brand and everything that's wrong with it. And Virginia was a state, obviously, that Joe Biden won quite easily in Youngkin's case. Can Trump win back independents, blue-collar Democrats in places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin? If you think that he has the ability to do that, then great. Now, yeah, of course you're not going to vote for Joe Biden or whoever the Democratic nominee is, even if Trump is in there. The question is, those people that decide elections, would they ever come back to Trump? Or they're like, you know what? The conditions on the ground could be horrendous. Just personally, I can't vote for this person anymore because of X, Y, Z, and it has nothing to do with policy. There are enough people out there that could sway an election, I think. But maybe if Trump stays disciplined and we get what we got last night, maybe he could change some minds. But it's 731 days to the election. I have a feeling that things may break down in the discipline department at some point.
Yeah, this presidential campaign that he officially launched last night, it looked a lot different last week when he was attacking people. And last night was presidential Trump. And we all go, this is nice. This is good. Let's live here. But, you know, we will not hold our breath. We will wait and see what happens. Joe Concha, we are always grateful when you come on to the show with us. Thanks for being here today.
That was fun, Annie. Thanks so much.
Yep, we'll have you back soon. Joe Concha, author of the book, Come On Man, The Truth About Joe Biden's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Presidency, which I will say right now does not deserve a second term. Period. I hate it when people say period. I hate it when people have to vocalize their punctuation. How come nobody ever says, like, exclamation point? Like, that's an exclamation point sentence. But nobody says that. They all say period.
Well, the exclamation point is contained in the way that you say the sentence.
But why do people have to, you know, who deems you worthy of being able to vocalize your punctuation?
Well, I don't like it because
ellipsis.
Yeah. I don't like it because whenever somebody says period, they're like, this conversation's over. There's nothing you can say to change my mind, blah, 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 blah.
Just walk away. If you're done with the conversation, bye.
What if I do have something of value to add to what you just said period to, because there's no way you looked at this from every possible angle?
I'll shout it at the back of your head while you're walking away.
Absolutely.
Period. Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. Are you... if you're on the YouTube live chat right now, let me know if you're like a punctuation speaker. I need to know those people. I'm sure that the chat today for the rest of it is going to be bold statements followed by all caps period with a period on the end of it. But if you're going to say period and put a period on the end of it, why don't you say period? This could go on forever. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to put a period on the end of your sentence that is the word period, then here we go.
Yep.
Could take forever. Also, today's YouTube live chat poll. I don't think I've even mentioned this today yet, have I? If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president in 2024, will you vote for him? Yes or no? You got to come let me know. I'm voting for him if he's the nominee. I think his policies are great. If he's able to get us across the finish line, I support him. I want the person who can win. And he has to make that case for me that he can win in order for me to vote for him in the primary, but I'm open. Let's see what happens. Remember what I said in the first hour? You don't need to pledge your allegiance to anybody. Let's get back to the place where the people who are running to represent you pledge their allegiance to you and make their case. Period. We'll be right back.
What you know, Joe?
I just can't figure.
What you know, Joe?
I don't.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Hey,
find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Ray, owner of Manzi Insurance and Real Estate. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, I scrambled to figure out how to protect our employees and customers while still being able to service our clients' needs. They got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that money, it allowed me to upgrade our technology to provide the means for some employees to work remote while also protecting those that return to the office. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim today.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
So I want to talk to you about one of the oldest private practice ear, nose, and throat groups in the St. Louis area. I want you to know about Gateway ENT. Online at gatewaydrs.com. That's gatewaydoctors.com. If you have an ear, nose, or throat problem, or an ear, nose, and throat problem, you want to go with experienced ENTs who can get you in and see you quickly. None of this like, oh, we can see you in 6 months. None of that. Call 314-843-3828. That's 314-843-3828 and schedule an appointment with the experts in town. The ENTs that many high-profile St. Louisans go to see. Gateway ENT, you are a high-profile St. Louisan and can go see them as well. We've had many people in the Annie Frey Show family have gone to see Gateway ENT doctors and been very, very happy with the results. Why don't you be one of them? 314-843-3828. Call and mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. You are at the epicenter of their care. They're not beholden to any large hospital groups referring for the benefit of people who are not their patients. You are what is important at Gateway ENT. Go online to gatewaydrs.com.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is without any inspections or need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-782-8000 or at chrisbuysHomesstlouis.com and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful Waffle Houses. Even the tenant won't pay their rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. And check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And get the offer you have been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-782-8000.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Wednesday afternoon, our friend George Gray, who is on The Price is Right, is going to help us play our game, The Price is Wrong, Mark.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Freedom was something I never found. Trying to find
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
fighting the fight that I couldn't win. And you rescued me, and now I can breathe. I was a dead.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy to be with you today on this Wednesday here in St. Louis. A blustery, windy day. Looks very wintry outside. I think I see some snowflakes bopping around outside. Yep, I definitely do. It's cold outside. Every day when I come into work, I've come from the Illinois side, I come across the Stan Musial Bridge, and I get onto Tucker, and I drive downtown to the radio station, and every day I drive past the St. Patrick's Center. Every day I see people outside the St. Patrick's Center waiting to be helped. And I messaged some people in our building here, and Brad being one of them, and said, let's talk to the St. Patrick's Center. I want to know what they do, and I want to know how they help people, and I want to know if there's a way that we can help on our show. So to give us that information, I'm very excited to welcome Amanda Laumeyer onto the show. She's the Senior Director of Philanthropy at the St. Patrick's Center. You can go to stpatrickcenter.org to learn more about the St. Patrick's Center yourself. Amanda, thank you for coming on the show with us today. I'm really grateful that you're giving us some of your time.
Oh, absolutely. Annie, thank you so much for having us.
Of course. I want to give you the floor. Tell me about the St. Patrick's Center for people who never make it downtown, who don't pass it every day, and for people like me who do, who pass it every day, but don't really know the work, the effort that goes on behind the front doors of the St. Patrick's Center. What are you guys doing there?
Sure. So St. Patrick's Center has been in St. Louis for almost 40 years. In January, we'll celebrate our 40th anniversary. And we started out providing a hot meal and a warm place to bring some individuals in who are outside on the streets on a very cold day in January. And since then, we've really expanded to help people who are homeless, but also who might be facing homelessness or near homelessness, maybe eviction, having trouble with their utilities. So we have over 20 different programs that are still to this day providing the warm meal at our building downtown, providing services and information to people who need help. And then we also support families in the community in housing, whether it's a transitional housing program or permanent housing for that family or individual. And our case managers work with them to really find out how we can help them, what the situation is. Maybe it's a job training program. Maybe it's a health program. And, of course, finding affordable, safe housing for them.
I think it's really important for people to understand that these entities do exist for people who need it downtown. How do you get your funding? Do you get government funding, taxpayer funding? Is it all donations based? How do you do your work?
Sure. So we get a lot of our funding that's federally funded and government funding through places like HUD. The Veterans Administration is very supportive of the work we do. About 25% of the people that we help at St. Patrick's Center are veterans. And last year we helped over 4,000 individuals. So we get great funding from those sources. We also have a lot of great support from the community here in St. Louis, whether that's through Catholic charities in the Archdiocese, private and individual donors, and family foundations that are there to support St. Patrick's Center and other nonprofits in the community.
So we're speaking with Amanda Laumeyer. She's the Senior Director of Philanthropy at the St. Patrick's Center, stpatrickcenter.org. What does somebody have to do to receive services from the St. Patrick's Center?
Sure. The best thing for someone to do is come to St. Patrick's Center at our downtown location. We do what's called an intake and assessment, which is really just a sit-down meeting with that person to figure out what's going on. And that must be done in person just to really get a good sense of how we can help them. It is only done Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 12, or again from 1 to 4. No appointment is needed, but we do recommend that individuals get here a little bit early before 8 o'clock before we open so that they can be seen that day. If they are here during the lunch hour, they're welcome to come in and have the meal with us and, then go to their appointment right after that.
Amanda, when I look at different places like the St. Patrick's Center, people who are helping other people, and I think about myself personally, and then also the platform that I have here to have these conversations in a public way so that other people can join me in helping, I always want to try to first know, what is the simplest, most basic way, the easiest way that provides people, they have no excuse not to say, I can help in this small way. How can I help the St. Patrick's Center? What can I contribute, or what can I donate, or what can I do that's going to make an immediate difference for somebody, even if it's a teensy tiny small thing?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you asked that, because people ask that all the time. And we're such a large organization and have a great, strong history that I've often had people say, well, my small donation won't make a difference, but it definitely does. Because if everybody who said that didn't donate, we wouldn't be here today. So, every dollar that you have certainly makes a difference. And that's a great way to help if you aren't sure how else you can. Another thing is especially with this cold weather, we really go through winter weather items. So whether that's coats, scarves, hats, blankets, those can be new or gently used. So if you're getting yourself a new coat this year, maybe we can have your one from last year. We're always looking for those type of items for the individuals that not only come to the building, but also for our mobile outreach team, which is groups of our staff that drive around in the St. Louis area to encampments or to places where we know that people are unhoused to get them those items and supply as well. So those are, two easy ways. We're also always looking for items for our pantry. So if you have some extra food in your pantry, you'd like to donate that, or you have some clothing that you'd like to give, we can take that here for our clothing room that we give to our clients as well. Those are super easy ways. I would say, keeping us in your prayers, not just our clients, but the staff that work really hard to help people through these crises is the best way to help as well.
Amanda Laumeyer speaking with us right now, the Senior Director of Philanthropy at the St. Patrick's Center. If people, I have coats. I have coats that, we grow out of, my kids grow out of, or that we don't use anymore. Maybe we do replace it. And I'm always thinking, where can I take these? How can I do good with what I am replacing in my own house? What's the most convenient way for people to get those items to you, to the St. Patrick's Center, and ultimately on the backs and bodies of these people who are in need?
Yeah. So we accept donations Monday through Friday at the building on Tucker. So if you're used to driving down Tucker from the bridge, it's literally just you're going to make a left on our corner and behind our building. We have a drive-up donation center where someone can pull right up to the cones. Our staff will come out, unload those items, give them the receipt, and then they can be on their way. That is Monday through Friday, and it's from 8 to 4. Again, no appointment necessary. Just drop it off, and it can be gently used or new, and clothing items, coats, winter weather, items for the pantry, all of those things are much needed, and we'd be very grateful for.
Amanda, I think I saw in one of maybe it was a press release that was sent out for the St. Patrick's Center, and it talked about socks. And I'm wondering about new packages of socks and underwear. Is this something that is that is beneficial if people are at Walmart and they're like, you know what, I'd like to do something good here? Can they buy a pack of socks or a package of underwear or something? Is that something that gets used?
Absolutely. In fact, socks and undergarments are the number one things that are needed at homeless service providers nationwide, likely because they do have to be new. So it's a little more difficult to get those donated. But yes, we go through socks and undergarments. So whether that's sports bras, underwear, t-shirts for men, very, very quickly. And that's a perfect way to give back, is grab an extra pair of socks next time you're there in the store, and we'd be happy to get those to the people that need them.
Well, Amanda, I am moved by what I see happening with my own eyes like I said, every day. I drive past it twice a day, and I know that what you were doing at the St. Patrick's Center, what all the volunteers are doing at the St. Patrick's Center, it is making a difference. And there's part of me that is encouraged by the fact that there's that consistency, that there's always that St. Patrick's Center there that people can rely on and help. But there's also the realization that the work is never done. It's never accomplished. The problem of homelessness, or, you just said 25% of the people you help are veterans. That is heartbreaking to know that the importance of the existence of a place like St. Patrick's Center, that the work will never be done. The last question I want to ask you is, if people are motivated past the point of buying a package of socks or dropping off last year's coat, or maybe a couple of seasons ago that coat, if people are motivated right now by this conversation or by seeing it the way I've seen it, to do more with their time and to be able to show up and volunteer and participate with these people and reach these people, how do they go about volunteering their actual time and service?
That's great. A great question. So the best way to do that is to visit our website, which I know you were plugging earlier. And right when you visit there, there's a link that says support, or a menu that says support at the top. You click on that, and then volunteer pops up. And you can see all of the different volunteer opportunities we have. The meal that I mentioned, we serve every day, 7 days a week. We're always looking for individuals to help serve that. It's a great way to connect with the people that we do serve and get to know them and just engage with them. We're also looking for help to serve and prepare meals for our women's shelter, which is on our second floor. Every night we shelter 20 to 30 women, and we're looking for people to bring in a meal for those women and to serve to them as well. Besides that, there's lots of other opportunities, some at home, some of them here in our pantry. We have individuals that will also help with some of our workforce programs, like maybe helping someone build a resume or working in the computer lab with them on some skill building and applications.
It's just really, it's a positive message. It's a way that people can, in this moment in time, people can really step up and be a part of a solution. And we're grateful that the St. Patrick's Center is there. stpatrickcenter.org. Amanda, thank you so much for the time today. We really appreciate this message, and I'd like to follow up with you sometime soon on more ways that we can help here on the Annie Frey Show and 97.1 FM Talk.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Annie. We'd love to have you come down and visit, take a tour, whatever you'd like to see here. We'd be happy to show you.
Thank you, Amanda. We'll talk again soon.
Have a good day.
You as well. Bye-bye. stpatrickcenter.org. It's pretty simple to pick up a package of socks. And if you think about what you can do with that type of effort, if you think about what might be a small sacrifice for you, a $10 pack of socks, and you think about somebody getting a pair of those socks who's otherwise would not have socks on their feet, and they're living outside in St. Louis, and they are cold. I hope that that's something that we all consider the possibility of doing. I would like to do more with the St. Patrick's Center. I would like to do more with a lot of different things, and I am riding high right now on this idea that I sit around and I, advocate for. I'm staunchly conservative. I think Republicans do better running government than Democrats do. But the truth of the matter is, these problems at the St. Patrick's Center that they're addressing right now are only going to be helped by Republicans and Democrats that never actually articulate which party they vote for, showing up with a $10 pack of socks and helping somebody who's in need, including 25% of those people that they're serving who are veterans. I hope that in this point in time right now, while we're thinking about midterm elections and how they materialized and people who are running for president 2 years from now, and we're trying to figure out exactly how we're going to maneuver and how what we need to do and who we need to have to win these elections, that we don't lose sight of the actual thing that we're trying to do here, which is make America a better place to live, to make America great again, I suppose. And the idea that conservatism is rooted in the thought that We don't need government to show up around every corner to provide solutions. You are the solution. So go to stpatrickcenter.org and be a part of the solution. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
The pain was so bad, it felt like I was walking on knife blades. It took my life away. And my doctor recommended that I go to Good Feet. I took about 4 steps and started to cry. It was the first time that I had no pain. I'm not an actor. I want people to know, whether you're young or old, these are life-changing. I've tried the rest. The best is Good Feet. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Let's go to the ballpark. We're going to Monster Jams. We're going camping. My attitude's changed. I'm a happier man. I'm like a regular dad now. The kids have seen that change and that confidence in dad, and they like the new dad.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
TheDiamondShop.net is the website. Have you become a VIP there? It doesn't cost you anything, and you have opportunities to save when you become a VIP at the Diamond Shop. Go to thediamondshop.net and sign up. You can also create a wish list. Ladies and gentlemen, go create a wish list of things that you would love to have. Beautiful pieces, watches, rings, earrings, necklaces, jewelry, tie restraints. I bought a tie restraint for my husband, a chain from the Diamond Shop. They made it for me. It was a beautiful piece, and he loves it. And I went to them and said, this is what I want. This is my budget. And they created something for me, especially for my husband. And it was right in my budget. Happy to be able to tell you that I was able to do that at the Diamond Shop. My husband has also bought me several pieces of beautiful jewelry from the Diamond Shop. And when we go there, we're not like super experts when it comes to jewelry, but we know that we can trust Tom, Mona, the whole staff there at the Diamond Shop to treat us with the respect and the dignity to talk to us about our budget, to never shame us saying, oh, we only really want to spend this much. They find us something that fits what we're looking for. They're going to do the same thing for you as well. And remember, 6 months, same as cash. Great opportunities to purchase something and work it out so you can buy it within those 6 months. Same as cash. Go online to thediamondshop.net.
Procrastination. We've all been there. But have you been dragging your feet when it comes to creating your retirement plan? I've heard it all from, I have time before I need to make a decision, or I'll eliminate debt first and then get ready for retirement. I've seen far too many people waste valuable time for their retirement planning, and I don't want you to be one of them. Hi, I'm Ken Heisey with Heisey Advisory Group. I'm on a mission to help people recognize the potential destructive impact procrastination can have on their retirement plan. Don't procrastinate. Call us today at 314-328-6000 to ensure you get on the right path toward your retirement dream. 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Some things happen slowly, and maybe you don't notice right away that you're slowing down, that you don't recover as quickly from injuries or sore muscles, and you kind of wonder why, but you just go on with your life. Victory Men's Health was set up with you in mind. They have medical doctors who've been working in the area of men's health specifically for 30 years. If you've got low T, if you've got ED, if you're dealing with any of those issues, don't suffer in silence. You can thank me later. Book your appointment at victorymenshealth.com.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home this fall. For heating service, repairs, or a new HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Celebrating 22 years as St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for being a part of it. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy that you're here with us. Did you guys talk about Chappelle at all yesterday when I was out?
We did not.
You did not? Okay. So we did discuss it a little bit on Monday, and I want to play for you this clip. It's a little over 2 minutes. It's a little bit long. Dave Chappelle was on Saturday Night Live. He was their host, and I want to get your reaction to this part where he spoke about Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump announced yesterday that, yes, he is, in fact, running for the presidency again. Is that a shock to anybody? Probably not, but he went ahead.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
So that was part of his speech last night. I thought it was a good speech. It was measured. It wasn't rally Trump, which we have discussed on the show many times when Donald Trump would go into rally mode. He gave what was a presidential speech that bores some people, but those people are generally speaking. I don't know if you can be bored with Trump and obsessed at the same time, but I think some of these people have managed to do that somehow or another. Dave Chappelle lives in Ohio, and he was doing Saturday Night Live in New York City. And he said in his monologue,
I'm watching the news now, they're declaring the end of the Trump era. Now, okay, I can see how in New York you might believe this is the end of his era. I'm just being honest with you. I live in Ohio amongst the poor whites. A lot of you don't understand why Trump was so popular, but I get it because I hear it every day. He's very loved. And the reason he's loved is because people in Ohio have never seen somebody like him. He's what I call an honest liar. Well, I'm not joking right now. He's an honest liar. That first debate, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a white male billionaire screaming at the top of his lungs, "This whole system is rigged," he said. And across the stage was a white woman, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, sitting over there looking at him like, "No, it's not." I said, "Now, wait a minute, bro. It's what he said." And the moderator said, "Well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, as you suggest, what would be your evidence?" You remember what he said, bro? He said, "I know the system is rigged because I use it." I said, and then he pulled out an Illuminati membership card and chopped a line of cocaine up and put it right into the podium. No one ever heard someone say something that true. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, "This man doesn't pay his taxes." He shot right back. "That makes me smart." And then he said, "If you want me to pay my taxes, then change the tax code. But I know you won't, because your friends and your donors enjoy the same tax breaks that I do." And with that, my friends, a star was born. No one had ever seen anything like that. No one had ever seen somebody come from inside of that house, outside, and tell all the commoners, "We are doing everything that you think we are doing," inside of that house. They just went right back in the house and started playing the game again.
Tell me where he's wrong. I mean, seriously, Dave Chappelle, and if this is one instance, if you have not watched his stand-up on Netflix, folks, it's not for the kids at home. It is a rated R experience that I love. I haven't seen his last one, the one that got him in all the trouble, and I really, really want to, but I canceled Netflix when the whole, let's expose 11 and 12-year-old girls that are sexually dancing in that show called Cuties, and I canceled it. And I never subscribed again. And my husband and I were like, we would subscribe to Netflix again for the Chappelle special to see it, but we don't have any time. So we haven't gotten around to it. But if you listen to a Chappelle stand-up, he talks about big, huge issues in a way that at the end I'm like, I know. And he always talks about how he's a Democrat. He said in this stand-up, 15-minute stand-up, if you haven't seen the whole thing, find it on YouTube and watch it. He's going to say things that you agree with. He's going to say things that you disagree with. Hello, that's comedy. That's free speech. I am in favor of comedy and free speech. But the way he articulates what Donald Trump did there, you can't be more spot on about Donald Trump than that. Donald Trump never came out and said, I'm one of them. He always said, I'm one of you. I'm just really, really rich and successful. I know the system. I use the system. He said those words just like Dave Chappelle said. And America went, oh, yeah, we thought so. But you're telling me that the system is rigged against the middle-class American existence, and the people who are being elected to protect it. For whom? Themselves. And that is what resonated with the American people. What Dave Chappelle said there is honestly what Donald Trump said in his speech last night, saying that he was going to run again to be the president, that he was going to be running for you, that this is, in his words, our movement, not his movement. Dave Chappelle gets what Ohioans get. New Yorkers, on the whole, they don't see it that way. There's a whole industry out there, a media industry out there, making sure that the likes of Dave Chappelle's message there doesn't cut through. And it's very important to understand as well. Dave Chappelle is not trying to create Trump supporters when he says this. He's saying something that he's observed because that's what Dave Chappelle does. And he is right in what he observes. The conclusion that we come to seems to be different. But at least he is willing to openly articulate the appeal that Donald Trump has. He's more honest than any of the other liars that have gone into our government to try to lead us and, control us. Let's take a quick break. I'm going to open the phone lines in the next segment. Don't go away.
Congress has authorized trillions in new spending, along with doubling the size of the IRS agency in just the last few months. Do you think that is by accident? No, it is with a purpose, to go after small businesses, employees, and individuals who have not filed or paid their taxes. If this is you, don't panic, just call. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee, which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
So Vitae Foundation is an amazing, amazing organization that is out there advocating for women. Yes, the pro-life movement happens to also be pro-women, and Vitae Foundation is at the epicenter of that. They have a pro-woman approach. And if you go to adsforlife.org, that's ads, ADS, forlife.org, you'll learn more about the Vitae Foundation, and it will be very obvious why I am such a strong supporter of them, why I spend a lot of time with them at their events throughout the year, trying to help them raise money to reach women, to give them information that helps them choose life. If you want to be a part of this solution, you can go to adsforlife.org. There is a donate button up at the top right. And while Giving Tuesday is going to be here very quickly, I want you to think about your end of the year donations and how Vitae Foundation can be a part of something that you do that is good. You can go to adsforlife.org and donate today. You'll be happy you did. VitaeFoundation.org.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Pentagon. I'm Frank Motek, Fox News. Top U.S. military leaders have just held a briefing on what's believed to have happened when a Russian-made missile fell into NATO member Poland, killing 2 people. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says it turns out the missile was likely fired by Ukrainian forces trying to shoot down incoming Russian missiles aimed at Ukraine.
We're still gathering information, but we have seen nothing that contradicts President Duda's preliminary assessment that this explosion was most likely the result of a Ukrainian air defense missile that unfortunately landed in Poland.
General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, says the Ukrainians were fighting back against an intense wave of Russian missile strikes.
It was likely the largest wave of missiles that we've seen since the beginning of the war. These missiles, again, they targeted intentionally and damaged civilian power generation facilities to cause unnecessary suffering with the civilian population.
Earlier today, NATO's chief and the president of Poland said there's no indication that this was a deliberate attack. Ukraine's president said he did not believe the missile was Ukrainian and has asked to see more evidence. An update now on a serious accident in Southern California today in which a group of law enforcement recruits on their morning run were hit by an SUV.
We had a 22-year-old male driver going the wrong way, ran into 22 recruit LA County Sheriff recruits. They were doing their morning training exercise when this person ran into them.
That's Sheila Kelleher, a Los Angeles County fire captain. The driver of the SUV is in custody, and police are still trying to determine if the driver was somehow impaired or if he did this on purpose. The financial and political fallout continues following the collapse of FTX, the third largest cryptocurrency exchange. Today, the House Financial Services Committee announced plans to hold a hearing next month on FTX's collapse. America is listening to Fox News.
Yes, missed you this morning. Kim told me you weren't feeling well, so I'm just doing a self-care check.
Oh, thank you, friend.
How you doing?
Girl, listen, my energy was so low because I didn't eat breakfast when I got up, so I had to miss virtual yoga with y'all.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm doing much better now that I've eaten, so I'm back on track.
Great. In that case, let's get some steps in tonight. I'll come over and we can walk around the lake.
Sounds good. Appreciate you being in my business, too. Now, let me get in yours. Did you check your blood pressure today?
I did that and my squats, okay?
Okay.
High blood pressure is not going to be my friend if I can help it. See you at 6?
Let's get it. See you then.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Check in on one another and be a part of a healthy blood pressure movement. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperatures holding in the 30s this afternoon with a changeable sky, and once again, little pockets of snow flurries or snow burst. Tonight, bundle up continues. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Windy and cold. 22 Thursday. Partly sunny. Really cold out the door Thursday, but 42 for the high. Friday, lots of sunshine, but we'll be lucky to hit 30. Temperatures in the 30s over the weekend. Warmer next week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel, but inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want, and TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
It's here this weekend. Diamonds Direct's biggest and final store-wide sale of the year. 3 days of extra savings. Friday through Sunday. Your final chance before the holidays to save an extra 20% on virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones, and the selection is double. With entire designer lines flown in only for this event. This is the best pre-holiday shopping opportunity. The biggest sale all year. Special financing too. Details at diamondsdirect.com. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Annie Frey here to talk to you about the ENTs that are going to put you at the center of their practice. I'm talking about Gateway ENT. Online at gatewaydoctors.com, you're going to learn about one of the oldest private practice ear, nose, and throat groups in the area with multiple convenient locations for you. West County, Sunset Hills, Festus. For more than 40 years, they've been happily caring for children and adults. They are the most cost-effective alternative to ENT practices that are employed by large hospital systems. Learn more online at gatewaydoctors.com.
Sail with American Queen Voyages in North America's mighty rivers, Great Lakes, oceans, and expeditions to the wilds of Alaska. Call 844-744-0794 or contact your travel professional.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
If the media ignores them, then we're talking to them. And we're posting it all as it happens. 97.1 on Twitter and Facebook.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy that you're here with us today. Hope you're enjoying what feels like winter. And it's very cold. And I don't like cold. Where are you at on the
I'm a
cold
no
weather?
on cold. I used to love cold, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and now I'm not a lover of cold.
So one of the things I like winter weather up until Christmas. I like the thought of being inside, sitting next to my fireplace, my chair next to my fireplace with a blanket on top of me, snuggled up until I'm like, gosh, I'm like sweating. That's the comfort level that I am. My husband will be sitting on the other side of the room in like shorts and an undershirt, sweating, going, Annie, we gotta tone down the heat in the room. Like, oh, it's so cozy. He hates it.
I don't want to be hot to the point that I'm sweating, but I do love a fireplace. So
I don't realize that I'm hot until I am sweating.
I like the feeling like Halloween's a perfect example. We bought a fire pit and we put a fire pit out in our driveway, and I sat in my driveway with my wife and we handed out candy as the kids came around. I like the feeling of the warmth of a fire from one direction. It's hard to explain, but if you like it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about winter.
There's nothing better than the point where you officially become warm after being cold.
Yes.
Veterans Day Parade.
Oh my gosh.
In Edwardsville. Amazing to be a part of that. Thank you to the Edwardsville American Legion, to the people who put that parade on without fail. It is a wonderful parade. We had a great time at it. I have already been in conversation with some people who organize it about how potentially we want to make a big deal out of it in the future.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yes. And so, Brad, I'll update you on that at another time. But it was cold. It was really cold, like cold that I hadn't felt since, I guess, the last time I was really cold a winter ago.
Yeah. That reminds me of like the outside riding my four-wheeler around in the winter cold, where you come in and you're still shivering maybe an hour later.
No thanks. If it snows and it's like, oh, let's go build a snowman, I'm like, Jared, you're up. I will have something ready for you to warm you up when you come inside. You messaged me Friday night at like 9:30 or 10 or something. You're like, I'm still cold. It took a while to get warmed up. I put on Facebook, I guess it would have been this weekend. I put on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. Hope you go give us a like or a follow or whatever the heck it is that they're calling it these days. I used to be a master at Facebook. We use the Facebook page so much on the Annie Frey Show page. We still do use it a lot. So go follow us there. But they clearly said, all right, you guys, you've had enough fun here. So we're going to, and I would try to do all these things to continue to engage, but people just wouldn't see the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. If you have liked it in the past, I would advise you, if you want to see it in your Facebook feed, to make sure that you still follow the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, because I think that our follower count has stayed the same for probably 18 months. It's unbelievable. Like, that's not even actually possible.
Not naturally.
No, it's been managed clearly. Whatever. Like, I quit being mad about it, and then I invested being mad in YouTube. So I put on our Annie Frey Show Facebook page, what makes you happy? And the reason why I put what makes you happy up there is because I think that we often don't think about what makes us happy, because we're always in the rigors of the day-to-day. You're trying to do what you got to do to get from paycheck to paycheck, or from the time you get out of bed to the time you get back in bed, and make sure you get done the things that you have to do. We have election cycles. We have news headlines. There is so much heavy stuff that exists in the world that sometimes we don't stop and think about what makes us happy. Brad, I'm going to ask you, before we get to the phone calls that I have just opened up the lines, 314-241-9797, I want to know what makes you happy. And I want to take a quick run through for the rest of the segment and listen to you folks call us, and I'll give you 30 seconds, 60 seconds to tell us what makes you happy. Brad?
So I got a couple things here. The very first thing that makes me happy is like coming home and my wife greeting me at the door. She greets me at the door. I open the garage door and she's standing inside, and she's there and she's happy and she's like, "It's Brad." And then my
dog, it every day.
Yeah. And my dog is sitting there wagging his tail real big, and that makes me really happy, because I'm glad to see them, and I'm glad to, there's nothing like being welcomed home by somebody who really cares about you and who really likes you. Another thing that makes me really happy, this is my dog still too, is like, I'll be sitting down on a recliner or on the couch or whatever, and he always jumps up and sits on my lap. Or in the mornings before work, I really like this. He'll climb onto my lap, and I sit in this green chair, and he crawls up along my left arm, and he lays his head on my left arm and falls back asleep. Because my dog doesn't wake up until like 1, I guess. I don't know. So
that's what makes him happy.
That's what makes him happy. Another thing, and I noticed this, and I had forgotten about this until after the Veterans Day Parade. So after the Veterans Day Parade, the church whose parking lot we parked in, they opened up their church to allow you to go in and use the restrooms and whatnot.
Yeah, that was Eden Church.
Yep, Eden Church. Great place. And I went in there and used the restroom, but like, I don't know if you've ever been in a church when nobody else is there, just a couple people maybe or anything like that, and it's just quiet and there's a peace about it. And I haven't really experienced that too much since I was in college, but when I was in college, I used to travel around with ministry groups, and one of the things is we do like these overnight trips.
Mm-hmm.
I would go into the church the night before, set up the sound equipment and all that other stuff. But there is a quiet peace about that, and that just makes me happy, and that quiet and that peaceness.
So I'm going to read a couple of comments here. First of all, Jennifer Harris on the Annie Frey YouTube channel says, my husband, dogs, and warm sunshine. That's what makes her happy. You can call us right now at 314-241-9797 and tell us what makes you happy. Forget about, am I going to vote for Donald Trump? Forget about inflation and Joe Biden and Russia and Ukraine and China and everything that is plaguing your brain and picking at your brain and trying to steal what makes you happy, or the feeling of being happy. And talk to us right now about what it is that you find
joy in. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Call the show right now. And we got a couple open lines. Drew will take your phone call. I'm going to read real quick while we get these numbers coming in here. And we can get to things that make you happy. Doug on the Facebook page said, my family makes me happy. Making other people happy makes me happy. Anita says, Jesus makes me happy. Julie says, being surrounded by the chaos of family all together in one room. I loved that response, Julie, because my family, there are often times where I am sitting in the room and it is so noisy because my whole family is in there together. And for a minute, I'm just like wide-eyed, like trying to check out. And then I'm like, nope, I'm going to miss this one day. This is important. And I want to soak this in. I think that's a great one. Lori said, happy, joyfully, my Christian faith and my family. Stephanie said, when I walk into a place to order a pizza to go and a beer while I wait and the owner shares real world issues, keeps it non-political, but the focus is on American values. Just happened and it gives me hope. Suzanne said, seeing others happy makes her happy. Marilyn said, my friends and family. Roy says, playing the guitar. Marcia said, listening to some really good Motown. That sounds nice.
Yes, it does.
That would make me happy. Ed said, seeing how happy my grandkids are while playing their sports. That makes me happy to hear that. John says, seeing the smiles on my great-grandchildren's faces. Well, congratulations to you. Thomas says, pyro musical shows. Does that mean like fireworks shows with music? That makes me happy a lot. I'd like to go watch one right now. Dan says, my puppy makes me happy. Claire says, live music. Robin says, knowing my children. That's not really a happy message. I'm going to skip that one. Sandy says that God is always there for my family and me 24/7 because my family makes me happy as well, and I want that assurance for them. So there are a lot more comments on the Facebook page. If you would like to call into the show and tell us what makes you happy, I want to take some of your phone calls and just take a little bit of a break from the onslaught of news that is plaguing our daily existence and get to something positive. Joel, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. Tell us what makes you happy.
Oh, what makes me happy is a warm campfire by the lake, a glass of whiskey, and my grandkids.
Oh, man, those all sound wonderful, Joel. Thank you for calling us and sharing that with us. Are you outdoorsy, Brad?
I have my moments. I don't love camping, but I like campfires.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love like staying out in the outdoors, but I like venturing out and then coming back home.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of the way I am too. 314-241-9797. George, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, good afternoon. I tell you what makes me happy the most is my dog, Jackson. He's a Jack Russell, and he turned 18 this summer, and he's doing great. I mean, he's like super cool dog. So he makes me happy, and your show makes me happy.
Oh, George, thank you for calling the show. And what's your Jack Russell? What's his name?
Jackson. Yeah.
Jackson?
I think I follow you. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, so I think I follow you, and he's all over there with some arch pictures. So anyway,
we'll check it out.
Great. I'm just glad I got to call in. Thank you for your show.
George, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and good on you for Jackson, 18 years old. That's getting up there for a dog, but I have a family who had Jack Russell Terriers. They're good dogs. Let's get to Chuck. Chuck, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, thank you. What makes me happy is just the security I have in the hope of heaven. Gotten me through Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa, troubles at home, good times at home, but that just knowing God's in control of all things, and one day it'll be at peace.
Chuck, that is such an amazing message. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your service as well. I think it was Jack Posobiec put on Twitter, what's your favorite Bible verse? And I answer that, and I'm going to answer it here. Mine is Psalm 46:10, and it's be still and know that I am God. And I like that one because it says be still, which is the opposite of what I want to do. Because I want to fix everything, and I want to have control, and it's usually way too far down the line where I go, oh, I'm supposed to let go and be still. I think that's kind of what Chuck's talking about there. 314-241-9797 if you want to join us and tell us what makes you happy. Kevin, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm happy because I'm going to go deer hunting with my daughter over the weekend.
And you're going to get what do you hunt with?
With regular rifles.
Rifles. All right. Well,
And we're going to go up towards Mexico, Missouri on public land which we call the pumpkin patch, because there's an orange object behind every darn tree.
Yeah, I bet. Kevin, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. That sounds like something that I think a lot of people who listen to the show would really find enjoyable, but also that's time spent with family. My husband took my son out to go hunting, I think it was last season, and they got a pretty decent-sized buck. I mean, I think that they were in the tree for an hour. So my son, that was the first time he had gone out and actually hunted, and he was just there along for the ride to learn the experience. And my husband's like, he's going to think that you go sit in a tree for an hour and you get a big buck. Like, this ruined the experience for him for the rest of time. He's got a little bit more to learn, I think. Brandon, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What makes you happy?
Yes, Annie. Obviously family, my faith, and things of that nature, but kind of keeping just a little more on the fun side. I'm an avid vinyl record collector, and there is no more joy than if there's some album, some pressing of something you've been searching for years and years, and the moment you stumble across that, it's just absolute joy.
Brandon, I love that. Thank you so much for that phone call. I was literally searching for records this weekend, Christmas records, with my 10-year-old daughter, because we put up Christmas decorations this weekend, and we went out looking for those Christmas albums. I know exactly what you're talking about. And we got some old ones, some collections that were just random people, country, like Johnny Cash and June Carter, and just a whole bunch of George Jones, all collected together in a country Christmas album. But I also bought the new Michael Bublé Christmas album, which I think is one of the best there is on vinyl. I paid like $32 for that at Trusty Chords in Edwardsville. Really great record store there. I paid $32 for that, and I got like 7 other albums, all for like 99 cents. They were all used. But I was happy for all of them. Victoria, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What makes you happy?
Definitely my happy home and my children. I love that my house is now kind of quiet and calm. I raised my kids on my own, and it's clean. And then in the morning, I know that I'm going to wake up to 3 smiling faces snuggled up with me, and that's going to go away eventually, and I'm really savoring it right now.
Victoria, yeah, hold on to that. I'm right there with you as a mom of 4 to know those moments and to see those happy faces, and those faces are not always happy. My face is not always happy, but when in the moments when you have that presence of mind to go, this is a good thing, and you get to kind of pause time for a second and soak it in, absolutely, that makes me happy. Sean, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What makes you happy?
So 2 things. The first one is I like being inside and kind of feeling like protected when it's raining. Mm-hmm. Like when it's a really rainy day, it's really coming down. I like being inside, maybe sitting by a window. Just feels nice. And also any kind of baby animal makes me happy instantly. So
Sean, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like baby sloths. I saw a picture in my memories. I think it was on Facebook. I had taken a picture with this gigantic sloth, stuffed animal. I think it was at Kohl's, but I mean, it was like 2 or 3 times my size, and it could wrap the arms around. And if you know the story, if you know, you know. But I thought that sloths were extinct, and they in fact aren't. And I saw a video one time on social media of this sloth. This man was helping the sloth like cross the street or something, and he took him and he put him on the tree, and the sloth like slowly turns around and just smiles real big at the guy. Probably, I'm like, oh, that is so cute. And I said to my husband, I'm like, look at this. This looks so real. And he like looks at me like, what? And I'm like, this is amazing. This looks so real. And he's like, it is real. I'm like, no, it's not. Sloths are extinct. And he's just looked at me like I was in the moment the dumbest person he knew. And I mean, literally the only thing that I can say, and it's apropos for this segment. I was so happy for the sloths that they are thriving and still so incredibly cute. I'm going to get to 2 more phone calls here before we take a break. Peggy, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What makes you happy?
Well, my salvation, of course, and the beach, the ocean, watching the ocean and the vastness of God. Oh. And I got to be at Myrtle Beach 2 weeks ago this week, and it was wonderful because it's off season. There wasn't anybody there.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here comes horses, and the horses on the beach. And my daughter went down there to find out about it, and it was a heart association moneymaker thingy, and there were hundreds of horses that walked along the 10 miles of that beach, but it was just the horses and the water, and was so peaceful, and just reminds you of the power of God and the awesomeness of Him.
Mm-hmm. Peggy,
So
thank you.
It always makes me very happy.
Yeah, Peggy, thank you for sharing that with us, because I know that when I see the ocean, I just stand in front of it and I'm like, this is really big. This is huge. It's like endless. It's like limitless. And you know that you don't know what that ocean all contains, and it's there and it exists whether you acknowledge it or it doesn't. It's real and it's tangible, and I think that really does. It does do something to your soul. Amy, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. Real quick here, what makes you happy?
I am a mother of 4 boys, but they are older in their 20s. And I am blessed they're all working, and they're all successful in their lives. And one of my daughter-in-laws came to me and asked me to thank you. Such a blessing. She's been a daughter-in-law only since September. And each year after Thanksgiving, we will plan a trip. Instead of to the ocean, we go to the mountains.
Amy, I think we're losing you there. I'm so sorry about that. The connection was dropping. And send us a message. Send us a message on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and we'll get to that. Real quick, last one. Jerry, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What makes you happy?
Makes me happy the fact that I can spend time with my family in the vacation, spend it with my daughters, my new grandson. That unfortunately that I didn't get to see due to the fact of the COVID, but now I get to see him every day. I get to see a smile and just enjoy every minute of it.
Jerry, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that, man. You know what's consistent here? Family and the people who are around you that you love, and the people who mean something to you, and chances are that you mean something to those people as well. So I just wanted to take that moment this time today to remind us of the things that do make us happy, that supersede all of these things. These are more important than politics. All of this stuff is more valuable than any candidate running for office, than any vote that's going to take place in a legislature somewhere. All of these things that we're listing, these are what we hold dear. These are the things that are important in life, and we should never, ever lose sight of that. Balls on YouTube says, Elaine makes me happy. And if you weren't listening to Elaine's phone call about the 1225 segment, you go back and listen to the 81-year-old who is happy to be alive, specifically happy that Donald Trump has announced his candidacy for the presidency again. Wherever you are on that, I challenge you to go back and listen to Elaine and not smile when you listen to her phone call earlier in the show. Stick around, more Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The listening you love is on the free Odyssey app. Your trusted local radio stations, coverage of your favorite teams, live news from your hometown, and millions of podcasts on demand. Best of all, you can completely customize your listening experience. Follow topics you care about, like leagues and teams. Pause or rewind your local sports and news, and add shows to your queue to catch up later. There's a lot to listen to, so get started and download the free Odyssey app today.
Water Sweets Soap Company. I just love this place. Yesterday, I had a headache, and I was taking a shower to try to get rid of the headache. And just the usage of the sugar scrub, it's an energy. It's orange. Energy is the scent of it. And it just relaxes me so incredibly much. And in the cold, wintry months, it keeps my skin moisturized, and it keeps my skin smelling great. I want you to go to Water Sweets Soap Company in Edwardsville. They are opening a new store in O'Fallon, Illinois, very, very soon to open that location. And I want you to check out the amazing products that they have for you. When you go into the store at Water Sweets Soap Company, mention the Annie Frey Show, and you're going to get a free gift when you come into the store. Also, if you go to watersweetssoap.com, that's watersweets
MurcyShipsSoap.com. When you make your purchase there and put in the promo code Annie, ANNIE, you're going to save 10% on your online purchases. They are a local business. They make their own products right here in the Metro East, and they are the top quality soaps, sugar scrubs, moisturizers. They have a hydrating skin therapy that we use here in the studio every single day. My favorite is the Cool Citrus Basil. I actually have it on my hands right now. Go to watersweetssoap.com and peruse their products. And remember, use the promo code Annie and save 10%. watersweetssoap.com.
Do you know how much of your life savings you could lose in the next market downturn? Are you okay with the stock market controlling your financial future, or would you like to have more control? Hi, I'm Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Our team can stress test your retirement portfolio and give you the confidence to enjoy your retirement without having to worry about what the stock market is doing. Call 314-328-6000 today. That's 314-328-6000 and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T. Euro Health.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Second Amendment Radio is a staple of solid firearm information on 97.1 every weekend. Saturday from 3 to 4 and Sunday from noon to 1. It's Second Amendment Radio and the great outdoors. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Mentioned a little bit earlier in the show that we went. One of the things that someone said, we just did a segment, took phone calls about what makes you happy. Somebody said, was it Brandon that said searching for vinyl and finding the vinyl that makes him happy? I totally understand that. My husband bought me a record player. Excuse me, a turntable. Do you know the difference?
I don't know the exact difference, no.
Well, my dad corrected me
And I think that I have a turntable. Whatever I said was wrong. And I think I have a turntable. It's a very nice one. My husband bought it for me for my birthday. It was an amazing gift because I have always loved records. I have John Mayer albums that I didn't have a record player or a turntable to play them on, but I just love the sound of a good vinyl album playing. And he knew that, and so he bought me that for my birthday. It was a fantastic gift because it was something I never would have gone out and bought for myself. And to me, that's the epitome of what a good gift is. It's like something you really want, but you really wouldn't take the time or the investment to say, yeah, I'm going to buy this for me. So Jensen, my 10-year-old, and I went out and we were looking for estate sales and we were looking for Christmas records because it's not even really, it wasn't about like, I think I actually have Bing Crosby's White Christmas album. That was one that I have. But it wasn't about like going out and finding that specific one. It was just like, let's have the record player going in the background while we put up Christmas decorations. So we found some and we put up Christmas decorations. We don't have a tree up. We get a real tree. And so I said, we'll hold off on the tree to more Christmas season because we are, some might say, premature in our Christmas decorating. But I've always been an advocate, and it's always ironic to me that I realize there's two reasons why I'm an advocate for get your Christmas decorations up as soon as you gosh darn please. The first is that time actually moves so incredibly fast that if you wait until after Thanksgiving, which is totally fine if you want to do that, or to December if that's what makes you happy, if you wait, I like to put up a lot of decorations. It's a lot of work and effort for them to be up for 20 days or 25 days or maybe the month of December. It's a lot of work to put into, and I like to enjoy them for as long as possible. And I also this is weird. I don't know if this is I am somebody who psychologically, I hate endings. I don't like when things are over. I don't handle that well. I don't process that well. I'm working on getting better at it. But when things leave my life or when people leave my life, I struggle with that. And it's nice. It's nicer to me to have the Christmas decorations up long enough so that when it's time for them to come down, I'm ready for it. I don't like to have that feeling of, I just put these up and I don't like the lingering of Christmas decorations into January. I guess, is January 6th when Epiphany starts, or does it change every year? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
It'd be 12 days from Christmas, so whenever that is. But, I grew up understanding that there was a Christmas season, and then Epiphany begins, and that's when, at least liturgically speaking, the Christmas season is over. But that's not realistic. I usually try to have my Christmas decorations down before I go back to work, which is usually right after New Year's Day. But I want to feel very comfortable when those Christmas decorations come down with it being over. And usually that means that I've had them up for long enough. And I'm like, all right, time to move on. Let's get this show on the road. The other thing, at least from the investment, the time, the energy, and how fast time moves, that's the first part of why I am an advocate for putting Christmas decorations up in my home earlier. I do not care when you put your Christmas decorations up. I don't think that there's a right or a wrong answer to it. I think you should just do it when you have time and when it makes you happy. The second thing is, each time that the election wraps up, I am like ready to change the subject. And putting up Christmas decorations, and you're sitting around your home and you've got the lights twinkling and maybe the tree is up and maybe a Christmas movie finds its way onto the television instead of Fox News or whatever election coverage that you're watching, and people are slinging mud and hate and all that stuff. It's like, I'm just ready for the mood to change. And I guess every 2 years, I'm reminded of that. So I'm curious if you've got your Christmas decorations up. And I'm curious if you have a strong opinion about this, or if you're kind of more like Christmas libertarian about this. Like, you do you. I've always wondered why people get so aggressively upset about seeing other people's Christmas decorations up before you deem it worthy or timely. Like, just move on. I don't know. When do you put yours up?
After Thanksgiving sometime. But I told my wife, I said, if we get a nice day between now and Christmas, Like even now, between now and Thanksgiving, I'm going to jump up there. I'm going to put the lights on our house. We may not necessarily turn them on before.
Out of weather convenience.
Weather convenience, for sure. But there are people right now in my neighborhood with lights up and on for Christmas already. And
does it make you mad?
No, but I'm worried that I'm going to get used to it and it won't be like, Christmas. I'll get kind of desensitized to the lights being up. And
I don't ever have that problem.
I don't like that. But I don't know if they're as aggressively competitive about being first and having their lights up as you are, but they're very much up earlier than I would ever put mine up. But
No. You have misunderstood me or I have miscommunicated. I'm not competitive about it at all.
No, you and Ryan compete about this all the time.
The only reason I do that is to screw with Ryan, and he only does that to me to screw with me. Ryan does. I have no idea when Ryan actually puts his Christmas decorations up.
If he does.
I have no idea. And I don't, I compete with absolutely nobody when it comes to, that's the whole point. So that's why I want to make sure this is really understood. My Christmas decorations have nothing to do with anybody but my family and me.
Oh.
Strictly, clearly, it makes my family happy. My daughter has this little red, crushed velvet dress with the little white fluffy trim, and it looks like a little Santa Claus girl's dress or whatever. And she was wearing that all Saturday to decorate for Christmas because that's the way my 6-year-old just is. She is just what we refer to her as extra in the best possible way. But that is my whole point. Whether I put Christmas decorations up early or late, I just don't understand why anybody else in the world would care about what I do, and I don't care what anybody else does. I just want to be happy in my Christmas decorations and mind my own business.
Yeah, you use the term Christmas decoration libertarian, and I wouldn't say I'm a Christmas decoration libertarian. I'm a Christmas decoration conservatarian. It's like I don't like when people put their decorations up early. I don't. And I get why they do, and they do what they do, and that's good for them. Whatever. But I don't get mad, but I'm like, oh, that's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that conservative part of me, but then there's also the libertarian part of me is like, but they can do it because it's their house and their property, and that's what makes property theirs.
Yeah. I just don't, if you, It doesn't make sense to me why people would get aggressively upset about that.
I don't understand that either.
I think you're missing the point of Christmas.
It's not time yet.
Maybe you do need a little Christmas in your life if it's bothering you that much. I don't know.
Yeah, for me on a personal level, it's really about Thanksgiving. I think that Thanksgiving is a very important holiday that get kind of swallowed up by Christmas. And Thanksgiving is really important to me because it's about a time to stop and give thanks for all that you have and all that's good in your life. And I don't want people to miss that.
And I would contest that I don't.
No, I wouldn't say that you did.
So I think you can. I think that you can walk and chew gum at both times. Maybe some people don't. Maybe some people do. We certainly could use more Thanksgiving throughout the entire year. But I don't know. I find Christmas is a time where people tend to be a little bit happier. Not everybody. It's not the same for everybody. Christmas isn't a joyful time. The holidays aren't necessarily a joyful time for everybody. Sometimes it's the opposite of that. But if it's something that makes me happier, then I feel like I'm going to be happier around the people who I care about and who I love and who I spend my days with, which includes people at work and people at home. So that's where I am on it. And got some Christmas records to play on my turntable, not on my record player. I did have a Fisher-Price record player when I was a young girl, probably about 6 or 7 years old. I had 3 albums. One of them was Annie the Musical. Another one was Sesame Street Live, and the third one was Thriller.
I had a Fisher-Price. I had the same one.
Like a kind of a grayish color with the blue?
Grayish white with the blue, yeah. And you could pop the little center thing up and do the 45s or whatever those are called. So I had 2 albums. The first album that I had was Michael Jackson's Bad.
Okay.
So I had that, and then I also had...
Was Bad before Thriller?
No, I think it was after.
After?
Yeah. Yeah, because he was, on the cover, he was very much lighter toned.
Is that the white
cover
album with the black
letters
and the red?
And Bad. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So I had that one, and then I also had the Budweiser Here Comes the King theme song.
Just to get ready for baseball?
The 45.
Yeah.
I don't know. It came from my grandparents.
I love it. Or just to celebrate beer, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to the results of the YouTube live chat poll.
If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president in 2024, would you vote for him? Yes or no? Go over to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and leave your vote there. You can leave a comment if you want to. Brad and I will read those reactions in the next segment and give the results of the poll. As Hannah is out today. Hannah and Ryan both not feeling great, so keep them in your prayers. Brad and I honestly don't feel so great either, but we're here. We're sloughing it out, and we are happy to be spending our afternoon with you. Thank you for spending some of it with us here on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Mark Cox here. Prices on just about everything are still rising, but thanks to my friends at CarShield, I don't have to worry about how much it'll cost to fix my car when it breaks down. Their price will never go up, and they help handle everything. That's why I love CarShield. When I locked my keys in my car on vacation, CarShield was there for me because they offer roadside assistance with every protection plan at no extra cost. When my car radio started acting up, I got it replaced because CarShield covers those things under my protection plan. When you need a repair, you don't have to deal with the paperwork or the headaches. You just choose the mechanic to do the work, and CarShield administrators handle the rest. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down. They can have yours too. Get coverage like I did. Go to carshield.com/Cox or call 800-391-8888 to save 10% on your plan. That's carshield.com/Cox.
I want to talk to you about Foley Dental Group if you're looking for a new dentist. If you're looking for a place that you can go where you're comfortable, where you can relax, where you can be assured that the dentist that you see is going to give you the top dental care, that the dental staff is going to be amazing when it comes to cleaning your teeth. I have never left Foley Dental Group with that aching feeling you can have after your teeth cleaning. Not once. And they do a fantastic job, and they are thorough. I want to talk to you about Invisalign. Now, at Foley Dental Group, Invisalign is not just about straight teeth and a pretty smile, although you're definitely going to get those benefits from Invisalign. First and foremost, they want to make sure that your bite is a functional bite. If your teeth are straight, but you're wearing them down quickly, you might have jaw problems, or they might be chipping or breaking. Something isn't working properly, they can use Invisalign to correct this issue that you are experiencing. They analyze every patient's bite as part of a routine examination because a properly working bite is as relevant as gum disease or cavities when it comes to your mouth's health. Foley Dental Group is accepting new patients at their brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art facility at 270 and 159 in Illinois. Simple to get to from anywhere in the bi-state region. Find them online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Doug High, 97.1 FM Talk, political insider.
Part of the challenge that Republicans had was they had built up the expectations so much. Calm down, guys. You got to get there first.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Well, that was last night in a speech that the president gave from Mar-a-Lago, and he has announced he's officially a candidate. They filed the paperwork. Donald Trump is running. And I said here that I didn't think he would, and I was wrong. And I have no problem admitting that to you. Maybe there's a little wishful thinking involved in it. Donald Trump is going to be the candidate. Can he win? That's the question that we will all have a lot of time to answer. My gosh. It is 700. Stand by. I have this countdown on my phone. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of messages. 720 days until the presidential election.
That's a long time.
What are you planning on in 720 days? Nothing.
Yeah, I don't even know,
I did start to maybe plan a trip to Hawaii in 2025. And that's how long I need to make sure I can save for it. And when my kids would be old enough to, I think, all enjoy, to have some sort of semblance of, I know what's going on.
I think they would.
Yeah. So 2025 Hawaii, 2024 maybe Donald Trump. I don't know. We'll see. I do not want Joe Biden to be the president.
No.
In 2025.
Oh my gosh, no.
So the YouTube live chat poll today on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president in 2024, will you vote for him? Brad, since Hannah's not here, why don't you take over and read some of the comments from the folks who have voted, and then after we're done with that, I will deliver the results.
Okay. So the first comment we have is from Katie Matthews on YouTube. She said, voted yes. I cannot imagine any Democrat being better than another 4 years of Trump. And I don't think a third-party conservative candidate could beat the Democrats if they are united behind one candidate. Then also from Mark Reed, he said, I said it once before, and I will say it again, in all caps, I will never vote for Trump or a Trump-backed candidate again, period. I would rather be a free agent voter and sit out than deal with his crap show.
Mark, straight to the point.
Yeah. Vicky said, hi, everyone. I chose yes, but only because I will never again in my life bite for a Democrat, not even for a dog catcher. I don't think he will get the nomination, though. Dan M said the key to the poll question is for president. At this point, if DeSantis is running, he gets my vote. If Trump becomes the Republican nominee, he will generally get my vote. Let's see here. Let's see what Janine has to say. I will vote for Trump if he is the nominee for the Republican ticket. I would prefer that it be DeSantis because they both have the same policies, but Ron DeSantis behaves like an adult in the room. Mark R. says, on the poll, yes, only holding my nose. I believe the conservatives have better candidates to put forward. And then Becky Curie says, I'm not happy Trump is running again, but I do know that he will do a great job. I'm just not up for the disgusting hate, lies, and vitriol from the left and the media.
So here's another message that I got from a listener. If DeSantis is nominated, the Democrats will brutalize and demonize him with all the vigor and hatred that they applied to Trump. Nominating DeSantis to move past Trump derangement syndrome won't end their rabid behavior. That's kind of what Becky is talking about right there. The idea that, let's get Ron DeSantis in because he can be the adult in the room. How much, this is a real question, how much of the Trump factor, and that's like the all-encompassing Trump factor, what he brings to the table that's good, what he brings to the table that's bad, what comes to the table that isn't his responsibility but is a product of his presence. If it's not Trump, are the people who have done to Trump what they've done to Trump going to be like, oh, well, it's Ron DeSantis. Let's have a gentleman's contest now?
No, not a chance. They're absolutely going to do it. But the other side of that is, the other thing that I always try to remember is that is the left. The left aren't going to vote for...
But it's worked.
It's worked. But they're not going to vote for anybody who isn't a leftist leader, no matter what. They're just not going to do it. You're going to count those out. That's like trying to get hardcore red side people to vote Democrat. It's just not going to happen. Who you're trying to persuade is the independents. And right now, the independents do not like Donald Trump. And that's the biggest problem. Whereas the independent might be able, Ron DeSantis might be able to get the independent vote.
But I think to this commenter's point, including Becky's, everybody has an opinion on Trump, one way or the other. You know where you stand. You know where he stands with you. The question about a Ron DeSantis or anybody else who might throw their hat in the ring, the question has to be, when they throw at candidate B what they've thrown at candidate Trump, how does candidate B respond in a way that does speak to those potentially independent voters,
Right.
those moderates, or those disenfranchised Democrats? Like, that's, I think, where the election is won and lost. Because the idea that there are people who, I mean, if Donald Trump doesn't get the nomination and Ron DeSantis does, Donald Trump has already possessed, and I mean that in like a acquiring sense of way, but Donald Trump has already possessed the success of Ron DeSantis. That was what he said last week, that any success that Ron DeSantis has had is downstream from his connection to Trump. So it did the same thing with Youngkin, not Northam. I screwed that up the other day and it bothers me still. So will a Ron DeSantis or a Mike Pompeo or anybody who is downstream from Trump, because Trump had success, endorsed a lot of candidates. Generally speaking, he endorses candidates once he's pretty confident that they're going to be able to win. Not a bad strategy. I'm not judging. I'm just acknowledging. How do those independents that you're talking about, Brad, react to the media, the TDS obsessed people, where everything every day, all the time is about Donald Trump? We see it in our live chat on a regular basis where we'll be talking about like pickles. And they're like, why do you love Trump so much? And I'm like, I think I was talking about dill versus bread and butter pickles.
Yeah.
I don't know how this.
Yeah, but Trump said one time.
Yeah. I can't handle it. I'm so sad for you people. We'll do another segment. What makes you sad? That would be the top of my list. People who can't get over Trump. He's not there. He's gone.
I look at people like Youngkin. They tried to make it stick to him whenever he ran for governor of Virginia. It didn't stick.
He successfully ran his own campaign without shunning Trump, but he definitely did his own thing. I think Ron DeSantis has done the same as well.
I think so.
All right, here are the results, folks. 220 votes on the Annie-Frey YouTube live chat poll today. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president in 2024, will you vote for him? 84% of you said yes. I think that says a lot, because I know that we have some people who would not vote for any Republican in that late race that are listening to us right now, and we're grateful for each of you as well. 84% of the people today, on the day after President Trump announces he's running for re-election, say, yeah, I'd still vote for him. But we have had a lot of conversation today about people who are maybe a little reluctant to do so. Only 720 days to figure it out. Stick around. The Mark Reardon Show next.
For the Better Business Bureau, Rhino Shield is the company you want protecting your house. Mark Cox here. I can tell you personally, I've got Rhino Shield on my home. I'm 16 years into a 25-year